Good morning and welcome to the AM show, the most informative, educative and analytical breakfast show on the block. My name is Sweetie Abochi and I do this with Benjamin Akapu. This morning, this fantastic Wednesday morning, we'll start by serving you the news that matters to you. And then Dr. Kwame Asasanti will join us. He's the head of European Studies at the University of Ghana and a political expert. He'll be joining us to get into the various news captured in the newspapers. And then Muftana Bil Abdullah will bring you AM Sports, all the latest updates in the world of sports. And then the big stories come your way. Starting with, it's 2 more days to go, and the multimedia group celebrates heroes touching lives in their various communities and at the Joy Impact Makers Awards. 10 nominees, 10 heroes. We'll hear from some of these giants and what makes them special. Also, President Akufo-Addo says he stands vindicated today when he said, "We know how to bring the economy back," as he touts government achievements in blazing through the debt exchange program under the IMF and saving the economy some $4.7 billion in negotiations with the Eurobond holders. What does the end of the debt exchange mean for the economy? Is the economy back on track? And are the businesses feeling the impact of these gains being touted by the government? We'll break down the issues and bring you all the nitty-gritties as concerns that matter. Plus, setback to justice delivery, as jurors go 10 months in arrears of the allowance, leading to adjournments of some cases in court. Justice delayed, justice denied. What's the way forward? All this coming up on the AM show. And also, Kujetwa Blakwa lawyers accuse the Chief Justice of bias in reconstituting panel in the Victor Kusi-Boateng case. What are the facts? Join us with your comments and thoughts either via phone or across all social media platforms, and stay with us from now till 10 a.m. because we will be serving you breakfast. My name is Sweetie Abochi, and let's start with the AM news. Many thanks for your company. Details of the AM News now. Ghana's High Commissioner to Kenya, Damte Bediakosare, is advising Ghanaians to be wary of traveling to Kenya as protests escalate in the East African country. Protesters have vandalized several state properties in the capital, Nairobi, including the Senate, due to the introduction of new taxes. Internet services have been cut across the capital. Now, speaking on Connect Africa with Blessed Sogam, High Commissioner Damte Bediakosare advised Ghanaians planning to travel to Kenya to be cautious of the situation.
It's happening here in Kenya. I think that's what is expected from any democratic country where citizens can, exercise their constitutional rights, including through demonstrations to express their grievances to their government. Indeed, Kenya has become a preferred destination for most Ghanaians, either for business, tourism, or other purposes.
I'm with. Can you hear me, sir? Yes, you can just go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay. So, as I said, Kenya has become a preferred destination for most Ghanaians, either traveling for business, tourism, or for some other purposes. But that also shows the potentials, in the two countries, both Ghana and Kenya. As we speak, we may be aware that there are about 9, Kenyan Airways flights, in a week to Accra. So that tells you there's a lot happening in the two countries. There are a lot of Kenyans also traveling to Ghana for business and other purposes. But with respect to Ghanaians traveling to Kenya, either for tourism or business or any other purpose, at this stage, with what is happening, we can only advise that you have to stay informed. If you're already in the country, our advice is that you keep updated with the latest news, particularly from the local news outlets, as well as international news platforms like BBC, CNN, or among others. If you are also still in Kenya, it may be advisable that you avoid, protest areas. You stay away from known hotspots such as central business, districts, and other areas where protests are likely to take place. But if you're about to travel, then the preferred advice that we may wish to offer is that you try and contact your travel agents or airline that you intend to travel with for some guidance and advice.
A member of the National Democratic Congress 2024 Manifesto Committee, Henry Michael Yamson, has indicated that the NDC would be able to provide the needed energy to run the 24-hour economy when voted into power. He said it was a former President John Dramani Mahama who resolved the energy crisis before exiting, therefore is capable of providing the energy the country needs to run the 24-hour economy. Mr. Harry Yamson said this at a symposium organized by the NDC to educate Ghanaians on the benefits of the 24-hour economy policy.
The symposium, which was under the theme Envisioning Avenues for Ghanaian Youth and Budding Entrepreneurs, brought together experts to help explain the policy to the ordinary Ghanaian. According to the party, it was also to dispel disinformation by opponents who seem to suggest the party does not know what the policy brings to the economy. Speaking at the event, Michael Harry Yamson said what the 24-hour economy seeks to do is to move from an economy of where only 1.5 million people have the security of knowing where their livelihood will come from at a point in time to a Ghana where everybody will have the opportunity to earn a living.
So what the 24-hour economy policy aims to do is to move Ghana from an economy where only 1 in 5 people has the security of knowing where their livelihood will come from to a Ghana where everybody will have the opportunity to earn a decent living. At the end of the day, the question is, what is the 24-hour economic policy about? It is about jobs. It is about making sure that we take the things that work today in Ghana, make them bigger, make them better, make them employ more of us, create for us the opportunity to export Ghana to the world.
The National Youth Organizer, George Opare, said it was sad that the economy had been run down to the extent that 8.4 million Ghanaians have gone a day without a meal.
I saw a report from the Statistical Service that scared me a bit. And what the report said was that in the last 6 months, 8.4 million Ghanaians have gone a day without food. And if you are Ghanaian, maybe you have not gone a day without food. But if 1/3 of the total population have gone a day without food, it poses as a danger to all of us. And this is as a result of bad economic policies that the people have bestowed on us.
In an interview, the Northern Regional Secretary of the NDC, Mohammed Salam, said the symposium was a platform to offer Ghanaians the opportunity to ask questions and get clarity on the policy.
See that our opponents are busy trying to do everything to throw some mad policy to let it appear to the average Ghanaian that it is not a policy that we have goodwill or we really intend. So they want to put it out there that the NDC itself is unable to even explain their 24-hour. Not that the 24-hour economy is not feasible. Are you with me? So we have come to implement this symposium through partnering with the civil society to provide a platform for young people to come together and the expertise so that they bring to fore what really the 24-hour economy needs and give opportunity to participants to be able to throw questions at them.
In other stories, Member of Parliament for Wa Central, Dr. Rashid Hassan Pelpio, has placed a 100,000 cedi bounty on anyone who has information that will lead to the arrest of suspects involved in the gruesome murder of 2 night watchmen in Wa almost 2 weeks ago. Addressing a press conference in Wa to announce the bounty, he expressed worry about the incident, which he said is making the municipality unsecure. Joynews about West Regional correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
Residents of Wa are yet to come to terms over the suspected gruesome murder of 2 night watchmen in the municipality. The incident took place at 2 different locations, but not far apart from each other. The suspected callous murder of Nabiengo Kobena and Sedu Tasong on June 16 brought the number of persons killed in the municipality back at 15 in the last 3 years. Since this latest incident, the Upper West Regional Security Council, led by the Upper West Regional Minister, Stephen Yakubu, has mapped out various strategies to not only put a stop to the inhumane act, but apprehend the suspects as well. This they did, among others, by deploying dozens of security personnel in the municipality to beef up the federal security situation. Member of Parliament for Wa Central, Dr. Rashid Hassan Pelpio, is shocked and in disbelief as what may be the motive of the suspected murderers, insisting that the issue is alien to the cultural norms of the people.
The impression is that there's ritual killing taking place in this town. Lots of lives are lost. There's pain in town, and the people are very much aggrieved about what is going on. We can't hide the pain, and there's need for us to address the challenges we're facing right now. To those who are harming the people here, that Wa has always been a peaceful place, and so it attracts a lot of people, including the people who are killing others. If Wa were not peaceful, definitely no killer would have come here to find solace, to work, and to earn a living. We want to maintain this peace. And so we are addressing this problem also to them as well, to ensure that they are back in town as peaceful citizens and not as criminals and murderers.
He placed 100,000 Ghana cedis bounty for persons who will come out with information that will lead to the arrest of the perpetrators of the heinous act.
In order to ensure that the public works along with us, we want to announce a bounty, a reward to all those who are capable of finding who the murderers are. That's if you are able to get the murderers, an individual or a collective are able to find these murderers, report to the police, ensure that they are arrested and that they are properly prosecuted.
Medical equipment installed at the Sewa Regional Hospital in the Ashanti region have their warranties expired even before they are put to use. Health Minister Dr. Bernard Okoboy, who's touring some projects in the region, has assured of government's preparedness to operationalize the facility in 3 months. But contractors on the project are proposing the government secures additional warranty for the medical equipment. Nanaya Aljima has more in the following report.
The 250-bed Sewa Regional Hospital is one of the 9 hospital projects constructed by Aerojet the Invest across the country. All 43 medical and non-medical buildings sitting on a 25-acre land are completed, with most of the medical equipment fixed. Contractors say the facility was completed in September 2021, but operationalization has been delayed due to challenges with power and poor road connectivity. But they are unable to meet import duty on some furniture for the hospital.
All of the subcontractors now, they are claiming for all of this due period which has been delayed, and they are requesting for extension of time claims, plus delay damage claims and all of this. Plus the warranty which has already expired for all the equipment. Right now, if we are going to commission the hospital, we will need to buy again 1 year warranty from the suppliers. And this will cost again EDI too much. Plus also some of the equipment and furniture, we have it in the board. Due to the financial constraints, we couldn't pay for the clearance of those equipment and furniture, and we are incurring a lot of demurrage for this one.
Aside the power challenges, issues of water supply and internet connectivity were raised. Already, a power substation is at an advanced stage of completion. The road network to the hospital is in a poor shape, though it has been awarded on contract. Nonetheless, Dr. Okuboy is resolute on seeing the project operationalized in 3 months.
At least I've seen the roads. Even if we get drainage done, to do a road, the side drainage is very important. Once you have drainage and the margin of the road is defined, it shouldn't take a year forever to have from the main road to this place to have the works done. I've been told that by the regional minister that it's been given to a contractor. That is how we work at the ministry. We are going to even meet the contractor. We are not going to leave any gap. We don't want excuses. A project that started in 2008 should run out of excuses by now. And so, as for DG, DG and his team, Director General, they are very good at mobilizing themselves to operationalize the facility. So if we do 60 days and they do worst case 30 days, in the next 3 months, before September ends, we should be able to start having patients visiting this hospital.
Meanwhile, the Bekwai Hospital, which was commissioned under the present NPP administration, has become the game changer in healthcare delivery in the municipality. Cases from districts in the catchment are referred to the facility. The hospital has, however, encountered power challenges among others. Dr. Ebenezer Osei Akoto is acting medical superintendent.
We have a peculiar issue in this hospital concerning our power. The engineers have told us that because of the machine, they built in a mechanism such that whenever there's power fluctuation from the ECG lines, the power to the hospital cuts. And that leads to frequent cuts of power to the hospital, and that interrupts our activity, care of patients and all that.
For Joynews, Nana Ojima, Kumasi.
The Haven of Love Children's Foundation, a Christian-based NGO, has organized a free medical screening exercise for vulnerable people in the Boko West district of the Upper East region. The exercise was one of many community service gestures by the NGO, founded by Joynews Impact Makers Awardee or Award nominee Samuel Nana Bekai Jirakta. Our correspondent Albert Sori has more.
Driven by a passion for giving back to the community, Samuel Nana Bekai Jirako started mobilizing his friends to embark on various projects to help the people of the Boko West district as his contribution to bring some positive change to them. He says his passion stemmed from his experiences working with the people of this area during his national service in 2015.
But when I came precisely to Teshi community in the Boko West district of the Upper East region of Ghana, I fell in love with the place. I saw the need. The poverty level made parents not to focus on their children. They were not intentional on their children. And a lot more going on in the community. And I had the leading from God to start this foundation.
Samuel later started the Haven of Love Children's Foundation, which has since 2018 engaged in various community service projects, including mobilizing teams of medical professionals to provide free health checks, consultations, and give medications to hundreds of residents in the Boko West district. This year's medical outreach was no different.
for the past 4 days, we've been having medical screening exercise. It's free of charge in partnership with Comprehensive Rehabilitation Services Dansumen. We brought doctors from Boasi and Kumasi who are here sacrificing because of the love of Christ to make impact. And it's been amazing because a lot of people who don't have access to doctors have met doctors and interacted with them. So we are trying to partner with Ghana Health Service and help the people and introduce them to the fact that they need to have regular medical checkups.
A team of medical professionals led by doctors provided health screening services to residents covering blood pressure and sugar level checks, malaria and typhoid tests, dental and eye care consultations, distribution of medications and vitamins, among others.
For the screening that we have done so far, in one community we realized that most of the people, especially the men, had problems with their lower back pains and waist pains. In another community we realized they had high blood pressure as something that was running through, common to most of them. For the children, what we have realized is the anemic situation, like they look like they are malnourished, and then their blood HB levels were lower than they are supposed to be. As we've had nutritionists who have spoken to the people to educate them on healthy eating habits.
The medical screening exercise was conducted in 5 communities with a total of 1,200 people benefiting from it. Some of them spoke to Joynews.
I was able to meet the doctor and I was able to know what worries me and what I would do, or the foods I will eat and what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. In fact, I'm very happy.
They treated me well. They look at my BP and my BP is okay. My daughter is very weak. She has not feeling appetite to eat. But as of now, they gave her a medicine that can help her to eat more and get help.
Samuel Nana Bekai Jirako has been nominated in the Health and Social Welfare category of this year's Joynews Impact Makers Awards due to the lives he has touched with the Haven of Love Children's Foundation. He is hopeful that he will be honored with the award so that with the recognition that comes with it, he can touch more lives in many more communities across the Upper East region. For Joynews, Albert Sorry, Zebila, Boku West District.
From Boku West, let's come back to the Greater Accra region, and the La Traditional Council is calling on all members of the Ga community and Ghanaians to maintain peace and unity as they prepare to commence the 5-month-long Homowo Festival. Chief of the Council, Ni Ajay Kofe the Sid La Shigetele, emphasized the importance of adhering to the directives of the season to ensure a peaceful celebration. Here's that report.
Homowo translates as hooting at hunger, a pivotal celebration in the life of the Ga people. For them, it is a reminder of the years of hunger they suffered decades ago. Now, it is a time of merrymaking, marking the beginning of the new harvest season. The celebration starts from Gamashi through to Teshi and Nungwa. The celebration spans 5 months long and is patronized by people from all walks of life, from different ethnic and religious groups. Secretary of the La Homowo Planning Committee, Theodore Ajite, says they are ready for this year's festivities.
Nila, Principal Headers of the La Traditional Council, never invited dignitaries and the cream de la creme of La Town and within the region gathered at Majuish, which is the forecourt of the La deity. Now, our Homowo Festival, apart from controlling our rich cultural values and traditional practices of the people of La, also ensures that everybody participates actively. In line with this, other activities are organized outside our classes. These events are tailored to cater for people from varied backgrounds, faith, beliefs, value standards, and age levels. The purpose of these gatherings inside our classes is to add a national, international, and cross-cultural touch flavor and spices to the Homo Festival. Some such examples of these side attractions include, but not limited to, a tag of peace competition, traditional Passon singing competition, Christian Passon singing competition, cooking competition, a beauty pageant, weightlifting competition.
Ni Ajay Kofe IV, Lashikitele, advised people to abide by the rules of the festival.
There are times that we have issues with some of our neighbors during the enforcement of the ban on noise making. We expect that those neighbors that we have the issues with should get closer to us for us to use dialogue to resolve the issues that we have.
The season of merrymaking is also a prime opportunity for businesses. Therefore, Ni Ajay says business-minded people should take advantage of the opportunity.
Aside the culture and then the customary rights, the Homo brings a lot of benefits, especially to the business community. Everything about Homo has a positive effect on the economy, from the clothes that we wear, from the food that we eat, even making calls, sharing things on social media, all have positive effects on the economy. That is why we call on the business community to be associated with the Homo Festival.
The La Homo Festival is celebrated by people from La, Medina and Ayi-Mensah areas. All and sundry are expected to adhere to the restrictions that come with the celebrations and partake in it.
Business updates coming next with Benjamin Nakaku.
Thanks for staying. Let's settle for our business story for the day. And the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the Association of Ghana Industries, Chonam Akpelu, has backed calls for government to invest the $8 billion it has saved from the debt restructuring exercise with external creditors into the productive sectors of the economy. Speaking to Joy Business, Chonam Akpelu called on government to invest in the manufacturing and production sectors to reduce importation.
This type of announcement and some money is coming in. Generally, there will always be some sort of stability. I mean, we're happy that there's more money to play with, and there's more money coming to pushing, we knew the benefit of the economy, that we all agree. But as to how this money will be spent to the productive sectors and to at least ensure that we quickly support, products that we can produce locally and minimize importation of those products, it's really our concern. And also how judiciously these resources are going to be spent, to ensure that the productive sectors are given the needed attention. So, yes, we believe that it's at least in the interim, it's something that we can work with, but we're very concerned about how these resources will be spent, especially whether it will be in favor of industry, whether we are going to continue to promote production of those products that we have competitive advantage over, and also minimize importation of these finished products. So really, these are some of our concerns.
And that's it for the business update for today, but handing over back to Sweetie Abochi.
Benjamin, are you ready for news review?
I am. You're looking lovely in your lilac dress.
You know your colors. And that's how we're getting out of here on the AM News. But stay with us. There's still more coming your way on the AM show. We'll be right back. Welcome back on the AM show. This is the news review segments with me, Sweetie, and
Blue Benjamin.
Yeah,
Lilac Sweetie and Blue Benjamin. Is that a ruby or an emerald on your neck? We could sell it. And,
I don't know. It's just a necklace I bought, Benjamin.
Yankoto.
Oto some 200 cedis. There's nothing really.
Hey, sir. Anyway, why give me that look? Welcome back. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic helps us bring you this segment every weekday, and they're offering you prostate screening for free if you're a man, fertility screening for free if you're a woman. Just reach out to them at any of their branches, starting with Accra, Spintex opposite the Shell signboard, Kumasi, Kronomo Abuehia, behind the Angel Educational Complex, there's Takrady Anaji State, Tema, Community 22, Tichiman Hanswa, and Esiama and Zima. You can reach them on 0244 867 068 or 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. But just the start of the news review, and we're joined by, you guessed right, Dr. Kwame Asah-Asante. He is a political scientist. He is also head of the Center for European Studies at the University of Ghana. Doc, Memoachi, welcome aboard.
Yaura. Sweetie, Michiao, Mawachi.
Mejo so, Doc.
Anyway, so Doc, yes, please go ahead with your thoughts. You know, Sweetie, before we go to Doc, this thing got me interested. The bit about Freddie Blaze saying his son had put in a bid, 150 million to 200 million. Technically, there was no mention of whether it was CDs or dollars, but I hear it was, the quotations were in dollars, right? And we hear Rock City proposed, what, 60 million or something of the sort? So the question then is, if there was a bid as high as that, why did that one not win it? And people are asking, 34-year-old amassing such wealth. But of course, there was a South African entity and support from some banks and I think a hotel or whatever. But people are questioning that maybe Freddie Wasimeu should have just let sleeping dogs lie. With this bid, I've seen a lot of people posting on it and wondering, Charlie, what they go on? It's kind of, I say, one corner.
Just show us, Benjamin. Show us the papers. Show us the evidence.
And Snip.
Proof. No, it's not about talk shop. It's about the evidence.
You know. Now we've as the multimedia group, Joynews, we've gone to SNIT, RTI.
Yes.
Because we want the details of, and SNIT say there be that.
Trust but verify, Benjamin. We just want to verify. So show us the proof.
Anyway, Dr. Asah-Asante, over to you for your thoughts on not necessarily on this, on anything you want to talk about.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. I want to touch on something which is critical to free and fair elections. And what is it? It's about manifesto. Manifestos are policy statements of political parties. They give us the ideas, the programs that political parties have for the people that they serve. So one would expect political parties at all times to, as soon as they get ready for electoral contests, they make manifestos available. Manifestos provide important guides for voters into understanding what is it that they have relative to their problems and how best they can solve them for them. And this is a critical factor when voters decide who to vote for. They look at your manifesto and realize that they resonate with them. They are going to address their problems. Obviously, they will gravitate towards that manifesto and then express themselves by voting yes for the bearer of that manifesto. We are not seeing 5 months to elections, and none of the political parties has come out with a manifesto. My advice to them that the earlier, the better. They should bring it so that we interrogate it, and then that will inform voter choices. It is important than rushing it on us and all that. That one, you lose the very essence of what you want to communicate. And at the end of the day, all the important things within the manifesto get lost.
Right. And the Alliance for Revolutionary Change, they launched what they're calling the Great Transformational Plan. They say they're not going to launch a proper manifesto. This is their vision for what they intend to do to break away from the duopoly, to, propel the development agenda of the country. So that has been launched. I think it was launched on Monday. So they are the only ones who've actually brought out a vision of what they intend to do if they're giving the North come December 7. I just wanted to chip that in.
As for the duopoly, they cannot break it, but let's move on.
But they're doing something.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll start with the Daily Graphic newspaper. On the front page, at Graphic Business Stanbic breakfast meeting, which was live on the AM show yesterday, we need bailout. Farmers, agribusiness purveyors demand of government. Wasimal practice on the rise, a study reveals. We must work towards food self-sufficiency. That is a Graphic MD rallying Ghanaians at the Stanbic breakfast meeting. Let's get into the paper now. I'll start from the story of the bailout because agriculture, these farmers, is important to us. Discussants at the Graphic Business Stanbic breakfast meeting have urged the government to bail out private enterprises in the agricultural sector as a means to address food security in the face of rising food inflation. The three-member panel of the discussants with expertise in agricultural value chain were of the view that the government must shift from the piecemeal approach to investment in the sector and rather adopt a comprehensive investment model that will tackle all the challenges in the sector. That's what they're saying, because we have a lot of papers this morning, so I'll do 3 stories from the Daily Graphic, then I'll come to you. Just 3 stories in each paper. There's this ongoing brouhaha in Kenya over the tax proposals that has triggered protests. Residents stormed their parliament yesterday, and this morning we brought on the news that the ambassador to Kenya is advising all Ghanaians who want to travel to be cautious because the place is not very calm right now. So let me just get through that story. Kenyan protesters yesterday over a new finance bill that introduces unpopular tax proposals that have drawn a lot of anger across the nation. The controversial bill, which has provisions that are seen as imposing extra burdens on ordinary citizens and businesses, has sparked a huge outcry from a public already burdened with a high cost of living. And this is everywhere now, not just Kenya, it's Ghana, but I mean, that's them taking matters into their own hands. We must work toward food self-sufficiency. Stalled projects will resume soon. I'll do that. President Akufo-Addo assures. President Akufo-Addo has stated that many of the country's stalled projects will soon resume, thanks to the successful negotiations regarding the restructuring of Ghana's debt. Speaking at the presentation of credentials to 9 newly appointed diplomats at the Jubilee House last Monday, the president detailed the positive outcomes of the negotiations and their implications for Ghana's development. And he was saying that he's been vindicated. He did say that they know how to turn the economy around, and they've done that. Later on, we probe that issue and whether or not ending these bailouts or these negotiations with Euro bondholders is actually going to reflect in, the economy that we have right now. But those are just some 3 stories from the Daily Graphic for your reaction, Doc, before I get to other papers.
Yes, I will look at the Kenyan story. The good news is what you brought to us this morning, and that our MPs are safe and they are preparing back home. Great news. Some of these things can take you off guard, and it's unfortunate. And I am also happy with the question by the High Commissioner, and that is the work of a diplomat. So he's really done a good job, and we should take the advice seriously. That said, I want to move on to stalled projects. I am happy that this government have found a need to come back to stalled projects. The Constitution makes it abundantly clear that there is always the need for us to ensure value for money, and that any time government starts any projects, it is incumbent upon succeeding government to continue from where they left off. Because of unnecessary politics and wicked intentions, political parties, as soon as they grab power, they abandon projects of their predecessors. That is unfortunate. People have done studies on all those projects that are in the bush, and you realize that it's a whole lot of money that has gone down the drain. So going forward, I think we as a society should push it down the throat of politicians so that it manifests in their manifestos, and then we force them to implement them. On this call, I believe that we should be able as a society to have a body that will make sure that any manifesto that is drawn up by any political party, it goes through that body, which also is a reflection of the development plan of the country. Because we spend so much money in what? Developing a development plan. And at the end of the day, no party is interested in incorporating that into its manifesto. So you have things like this, which is firmly placed in the Constitution and by extension in the development plan. Right. It is thrown away. So we should be able to make sure that these things get to their proper places, and then we get the best from this. The bailout on agriculture is a good call because farmers are suffering. Society, we are also suffering. Producers are suffering. Buyers are suffering. So I think the government must do very well to ensure that this is not just one of the empty talks, but that they will walk the talk and bail out, create a bailout for farmers and all that. Can you imagine in Nkrumah's Ghana, for all places with arable lands, and we import tomato from a desert area? Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't come now. It is a problem. It is a problem because I'm trying to wrap my hand around my brain, but it's difficult because why on earth can this happen when you have arable lands, very suitable for production of what? All the things you need, and yet you import tomato from Burkina Faso, you import cocoa beans from what?
I'm here with Obama.
Right.
Jesus Christ, shame on us. We need to up our game.
On that note, Doc, I'll move on to another paper because I think Jesus heard you. He's not coming down anytime soon. Let's get to the custodian.
And you know that for a fact.
What?
And you know that for a fact.
I'm called Christiana, right? I'm a follower of Christ. Me and Jesus. The custodian newspaper now. NPP UK raised 23 million Ghana cedis. Declare your stance on free SHS bill. That is Atuahene marking challenging minority. Nima Paloma drain reconstruction starts. UCC honors Yoko boss. Let's start from Atuahene marking, who's asking the minority to declare their stance. But I think they've already done that. Remember, Benjamin, we hosted the ranking member on Education Committee, not Choi Kutoi. And he was saying that there's already a law that ensures that there's progressively free senior high education. So there's really no need for us to turn this into a law. But let's get into that story just to bring our readers, viewers up to speed. I'll just get to that in a bit. Atuahene marking, why is that story?
Sometimes they mix it up in the papers, but which page did the paper say it would be on?
It said 3, but it's not on 3.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. So you then have to go looking for it.
Yeah, it's right here. So it's on 2 instead. Declare your stance on free SHS bill. The majority leader and leader of the government business in Parliament, Alexander Atuahene Markin, has challenged members of the minority National Democratic Congress to declare their stance on the proposed free SHS bill. And he's also the member of Parliament Swefutu and expressing reservations about the NDC's commitments to free senior high school policy. Now, according to him, the main opposition party's ranking member on education has strongly voiced his side's opposition to the bill. We have had the ranking member on education, Peter Nochukuto, strongly opposing the proposed bill. Clearly, the NDC minority does not want to commit itself to free senior high school. And the fact that we want to enact a law to make it mandatory, so they don't want to commit, but they've already declared their stance. I don't know what the story is saying. But NPP UK raised 23 million Ghana cedis for Bawumia's campaign. The United Kingdom branch of the governing New Patriotic Party, together with Young Executive Forum, have raised 23 million Ghana cedis to support the campaign of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And the funds were raised by the NPP UK branch and the YEF at their fundraiser dinner dance held last Saturday at the Landmark Hotel in central London. We saw some things happening from there. And speaking at the fundraising, Dr. Bawumia expressed his appreciation to the NPP UK and the YEF for their exception. I mean, it's election year. Everyone needs money, so it's good that they're pulling their weight or coming together to raise some funds. They need the money to win, although. Nima Paloma Drain, this final story I'll do. Nima Paloma Drain reconstruction starts. Minister for Works and Housing, Kojo Oponkroma, has cut sword for the reconstruction of the Nima Paloma storm drain, which runs from Asylum down to Odol Channel. The construction is part of government's efforts to strengthen flood resistance in communities along the Odol River Basin. Speaking at the sword cutting, Mr. Oponkroma commended the officials of Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development, that is GARED project, for the progress made despite delays, which he attributed to compensation packages for those affected. And he explained that the compensation had to be settled before contractors could commence work, and cited challenges with the design review process as an additional reason for the project's delays. And I don't know if there's a link there to President Akufo-Addo saying that because of the end of debt restructuring, that stalled projects are going to begin work again. So, Doc, your take. Okay. Right. But Benjamin...
Well, I mean, I don't even know what to say about some of these, but I just want to reflect on this. You know, it was raining this morning.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. I am a bit concerned about our preparedness, especially as we enter this phase of the rainy season. In respect to all of these things that are being mentioned, you know, year after year, we keep talking about, oh, the dredging and everything else will be done. I would be curious to find out, for example, how much has been done up to this point. I think the last time I was following some story that spoke about our lack of preparedness as far as the rains are concerned and all that. That is my real focus. And I've forgotten the statistics. That's what I'm trying to recall. And I don't want to put out what is not there. But all of these projects in the end, how do they feed into matters like that? That's my concern.
I was just trying to fetch the actual figure, but I know some...
I remember I saw something. I've just forgotten.
Gave us some money to tackle flood situations here in Ghana.
We get money all the time.
Yeah, so, I mean, is it that we are using these as avenues to make more money? Because the monies are coming, and if we intended to actually fix the situation, we wouldn't still be here. We saw the first phase of the rains. We've seen the first phase of the rains already. Some floodings, all that happened. And so now I don't know what they're talking about, but... If Dr. Kwame Asasante is back, still not back yet. Okay, so
let's get into other stories.
Yeah, let me move on now to the Ghanaian publisher. The same story of Apenyu Marking challenging minority over free SHS is here. Work on Nima Paloma drains begin. Same story, we've got into it. Mineral Commission refutes Bole MP's claim against Lands Minister. Let's get into that story. The Minerals Commission has dismissed allegations made by the Member of Parliament for Bole Bamboy, Mr. Yusuf Sulemana, against the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. Samuel Abujinapo, accusing the Minister of granting mining concessions to foreign entities without proper consultations. A press statement issued by Mr. Martin KEC, the CEO of the CEO of Minerals Commission on Monday, June 24th, and copied to the Ghana News Agency, described the allegations made by the MP for Bole Bamboy as baseless and unfounded, which should not be coming from a lawmaker. The commission emphasized that according to the Mining Act and the Minerals Mining Regulations, no mineral rights could be granted without consulting the relevant persons and institutions affected by the mineral operations. Again, show us the facts. If you really not granted these mining concessions to foreign entities to be mining, there's something you can show us to prove that you are innocent. It's not about making statements to make yourself look good. It's about saying that, okay, he said this. This is the proof. And it's the same with all the issues you're experiencing right now, really.
The other day, I saw a video with Dr. Brian Echampo, for example, with some journalists. And I said, oh, listen, if what is being claimed or the claims that are being made about Rock City are not true, you're not incurring losses and the rest, just show and let yourself have peace. But since then, and then Okujetua Ablakwa has also come up with other stuff, and let's see, maybe the RTI. But you know, there's a bit of a trend now when it comes to RTI requests.
Yeah.
You will request, all right. They will refuse. Then there's a fine.
The story.
Then there's a fine and all of that. It's so convoluted. I don't know whether the RTI law is serving its purpose. I mean, you remember the airport incident, Ghana airports, many others where the multimedia group has put out requests. They are not living up to expectation. But the president will not see that. He will not comment about that because those things. He'll be commenting about other matters and the rule of law. This is part of the rule of law. The law says, give out the information. They put impediments. Look at what they did to the Fourth Estate on the SML issue. They gave them hard copies. They had 2 billion pages. I'm just joking. Thousands of pages.
Request information, we will give you the information.
Thousands of pages. Go and sift through them. It took them months to deal with. That's how we do things here. And
yeah,
it is what it is.
Our finance minister has been waxing lyrical, Benjamin.
I honestly feel sorry for him.
I didn't think he would be.
I don't want him to, because so far he's sounded pretty okay and all that. All of a sudden, I don't know who's telling him to start doing this thing. And I listened to him the last time and I was like, what's happening to Dr. Amin Adam?
I like that we are on the same page.
So I stopped listening because I was like, yo, do the work and stop the politics. And immediately I heard economists come and say, no, these figures, what he's saying is this, it's not this, it's not that. And actually, because I myself, looking into the figures, I thought, what is he saying? But I guess...
This story here, let me get into the story.
The
Ghanaian publisher, it's on page 6. Ghana's economy will surprise the world this year, according to our finance minister. Ghana's finance minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, has declared that the country's economy is experiencing a robust rebound after facing significant challenges in the past 2 years. Quote, this year, our economy is going to surprise the whole world, Dr. Amin Adam said at a UK town hall meeting on Saturday. I can tell you that this economy is rebounding strongly. We are rebounding strongly, and it is surprising the whole world, even the IMF and the World Bank. They are all surprised. I am surprised too, Mr. Minister. Last year, they projected our economy will grow at 1.5%. We grew at 2.9%. This year, in the first quarter of this year, they projected we will grow at 3.1%. We have grown at 4.7%, and it goes on and on. And the last time he was saying that comparatively, because the CD is doing better than last year, the CD is still strong. We are not actually facing any financial crisis. We are on track, and our economy will surprise everyone. Dr. Kwame Asasante, our finance minister is saying that our economy will surprise the world this year. And so they're doing so well, and they've grown past their mark. Those are, I'll take your final remark on that, and then we'll move to Benjamin.
Yes, I think it's heartwarming to hear that from the minister, because he is a man behind the driver's wheel, right? But I also want to find out what he's saying. What are we feeling in our pockets? We are not economists, but we understand economic theory. Just dip your hands into your pocket and you can fully understand even all that Adam Smith said, including what the minister is saying. So it's just a matter of time. The reality we will know. We've already experienced that. And for me, no change has been experienced. I'm sorry because I went off.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll get into Benjamin.
I experienced doomsaw in my house. And I had to turn on my genset.
Doc, you had doom CSA. You had doom CSA in your house.
It is doomsaw pure and simple. They can call it any other thing, but I know it's doomsaw. Yes. We will move on. But back to the issue of free SHS bill. I'm not sure the NDC has said that they will not support that bill. They've said it, and Sweetie, you were right on that. They've said it. So I don't know where this is coming from. Because all that they are saying that there are problems associated with free SHS, and nobody can doubt this. The evidence are there for the world to see. A good policy, but it needs to be evaluated and then make sure that the necessary input is injected into the policy to make it strong. That is all. Because already, if you read Article 25, 1B, it says secondary education in its different forms, including technical and vocational education, shall be made generally available and accessible to all by every appropriate means, and in particular, by the progressive introduction of free education.
Right.
This is in black and white, right? So all that you do is to strengthen this. There are problems with the policy. Look at it, examine it, evaluate the public policy. If you look at the policy cycle, at the end of the day, you need to be able to evaluate the policy and then decide to either improve the policy or throw it away.
Right.
So this is a good policy. Let them improve it. And then it states, the bill, I don't understand it. It's very, very unnecessary. The right things we need to do, we know them. Let's do them and forget about all the unnecessary things. The necessary things are that we need infrastructure. We need logistics. We need resources to drive this beautiful program to fruition.
All right, Doc.
All right. Doc, so I'm going to go very quickly through these papers with the headlines because some of the stories we already know, and then we'll take them from there. Okay. I'll start with the Ghanaian Times newspaper. 2024 elections. I'll safeguard Ghana's democracy, President pledges ahead of December 7 polls. And just a quick swipe at what he says, and the rest I will just gloss over. So he is saying, he said the choice of a leader remained the unreserved and unqualified exercise of the sovereign will of the population, and he would ensure that the election reflects same. The president gave the assurance during the farewell call of the Apostolic Nuncio, Most Reverend Henrik, his other names are very, on him at the Jubilee House in Accra on Monday. Well, that is the story, though that sounds a certain way when you listen to his rhetoric in the past. I will hand over to my vice president, that sort of rhetoric. But 84,263 candidates involved in exam malpractices in past 3 years, that's according to WAEC, and don't abolish death penalty for all. Intentional murderers do not deserve to live, First Deputy Speaker insists. I don't know what your take is on that, but let me quickly add these ones, and then you can reflect on any ones you want to talk about. Bedi Atuahene is ambassador at large. It used to be Dr. Edward Mahama. I don't know whether it's both of them. I don't know whether Dr. Mahama is still ambassador at large, though. And I hear he's adding that to his role as executive secretary to the president. Then NDC not committed to free SHS bill. Afenyo Markin, you were just talking about that. Spartan Eves debunks Ablakwe's baseless claims, and that has to do with Ablakwe's claim about, I think, the beachfront and the management of Labadi Beach Hotel. All those stories in the Daily Guide newspaper. Which ones would you like to reflect on, Doc?
I will touch on our support democracy. Good call, but we need to go beyond this. Democracy is always strengthened when you create the enabling environment for it to exist. So I'll expect my president to be able to do that the necessary environment will be created. And certain comments will also not be thrown out there, right? That I'll hand over to my flag bearer and whatnot. It's the people who will decide, because power springs from the sovereign will of the people, no other person except what the people. So who will decide? But we want an enabling environment. We want peaceful environment. We want Electoral Commission to be able to do its work. We want them to say bye-bye to the rejoinders that they send to the results that they churn out. Right. By declaring results and come out to write a rejoinder to it. We don't want that. And we want all the stakeholders to have equal space to operate as a political party or as political entities, so that we will have free and fair elections. Yeah.
All right. Let me just wrap with these headlines. Two papers. The New Finder, NPP UK YEF raised £1.2 million to support Dr. Baumier's campaign. That's an interesting story. You can grab a copy of the paper to get details of that. NPP UK and YEF. They are the ones raising the £1.2 million. Okay. Biased credit ratings hurt Ghana's economy, Professor Agboyo says. A University of Ghana Business School lecturer, Professor Elikpimi Komla Agboyo, has attributed Ghana's economic challenges to unfair credit ratings from international ratings agencies. In an interview with Z Business after Professor Agboyo cited a UN Development Program study which revealed that Africa could save $75 billion annually if credit ratings were more objective. I mean, there has been that conversation, but how about we ourselves and what we do, like our wanton borrowing that has led us into where we find ourselves. Yes, there is that, but how about we ourselves? Do we do ourselves any favors? 2024 election, we have to address mistrust in the EC. That's according to Professor Abochi. And then Bank of Ghana spent 688.8 million to print money. ECD rollout can reduce this cost considerably. That's in the New Finder. And the Economy Times, almost half of Ghanaians enduring severe poverty. That's according to a Ghana Statistical Service report. And then petroleum revenue plummets 25% amidst declining production. Doc, we have to go, but your final thoughts.
Yes, I will touch on the fact that we are wallowing in abject poverty. It's unfortunate. This country is blessed with all human and natural resources to be able to turn its fortunes round. So why are we rich and yet poor? It is unfortunate. Our leaders must begin to work and work very fast to address these problems head on.
Doc, it's been great having your company. And thank you that even after you had your Doom CSC, even after you had your Doom CSC, you were able to join us again.
Thank you. It is Doomso, nothing more.
Anyway, thank you. Dr. Kwame Asante is a political scientist. He's also director of the Center for European Studies at the University of Ghana. Before we veer into sports, Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, as always, helping us bring you this segment. They're offering you free prostate screening if you're a man, free fertility screening if you're a woman. Just reach out to them at any of their branches here in Accra. Spintex opposite the Shell signboard. Kumasi Kronomabwe here behind the Angel Educational Complex. There's Tema, Committee 22, Techiman Hanswa, Esiaman Zema, and all of the other entities. So just reach out to them on these numbers as well. 0244 867 068 or 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. But just the start of sports and some Euros 2024 action definitely coming your way. You want to stay for that.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to AM Sports. Here with me, Muftao Nabila Abdullahi. On Tuesday, the Minister of Youth and Sports, Mustafa Yusuf, appeared before the floor of Parliament and presented a statement on Ghana's organization of the African Games 2023. Conspicuously missing in there was the financial details of Ghana's organization of the competition, and the minority did not take it lightly, questioning what he's probably concealing from the public.
I have gone through the entire 15-page statement that the Honorable Minister has presented. There is no mention of how much this country has spent on the games. What is the Honorable Minister concealing from this House? What is he hiding? Why can't we be told? Already, we have raised concerns about the huge expenditure way beyond what this House approved. We know that about $195 million was spent on infrastructure. Then we intercepted documents that revealed that they had budgeted to spend $48 million on so-called operational expenses.
The problem, Mr. Speaker, is about the value for money. For all the activities, programs, and all that were planned for the hosting of the event. We have spent not less than $245 million for this whole hosting of the event, and committed close to $195 million for infrastructure development.
Mr. Speaker, we know for sure that $15 million was allocated to a company called M&L Company Limited for 18 days of feeding. So, Speaker, that amount to 226 million Ghana cedis for 18 days. You cannot come here, deliver a statement without accounting for that $15 million for 18 days. The Speaker, this is public money.
Speaker, this is public accounts. This is public accounts. It's not for nothing that Article 187 of the Constitution provides that accounting for the usage of public funds should require some period. And indeed, it is 6 months after the expiry of the financial year that this should be properly accounted for. What it means is that after the event, you cannot say that within 2 weeks or 3 weeks, the minister should be able to come before this house and explain everything. Mr. Speaker, so the minority leader, fortunately, is an accountant, and he understands these things. Mr. Minority Leader, you cannot demand an audit now. If you look at 1872, it provides the public account of Ghana and all public offices, including the courts, the central and local government administrations of the universities and public institutions of like nature, of any public corporation or other body or organization established by an act of Parliament shall be audited and reported on by the Auditor General. They have finished their work. Instead of commending, Mr. Speaker, instead of commending the minister for a good job done, you rather want to use the opportunity to critique and say things that are not factual.
Now, let's talk about amputee football. They have won the African Cup of Nations back to back. But one of the things, one of the players, that is Richard Atta, has said is that despite their success at the continental level, it does not reflect in their lives. He's called on the president of the country, Nana Akufo-Addo, to give them an opportunity to meet him and present their trophy.
Turkey, I always speak about Turkey because that's where I play professional football. Over there, their amputee national team is taking good care of like their mainstream national team, Igbo national team. All the attention and care is given to them because it is their nation that they lift its flag whenever there is an amputee tournament. When we come to Ghana, it's not like that here. And sometimes we the players, it really pains us. Most of our neighboring African countries, the way they embrace the amputee national team it's not like the way we embrace ours here. And sometimes it really pains us. Here we are winning 3 trophies for the nation consistently, and we have nothing to show off. We have nothing to show off. But other African countries, they really treat the players well. They give them a reason to live, for them to always defend their country in terms of amputee football. In Ghana here, it's not like that. So for me, the way forward is I'm pleading with authorities that it's about time they come to our aid because we really need support. Every human cycle in Ghana here, disabled are not considered. Every cycle. I'm telling you the honest truth. And we feel discriminated. It's about time they put a stop to it so that we all feel we are part of society. Disability, everybody, anybody can be disabled at any point in time. So if I'm in this situation and you are treating me this way, if you also join the train, how do you expect to be treated? Maybe yours will be worse because when you got the chance to treat those people like that, now you are part of them. You will not even feel better. If care is not taken, you even take your life because guilty conscience. So I'm appealing that all inclusiveness, it shouldn't just be the talk, but it should be physical, it should be a practical thing, like the way it's in other countries.
The Ghana Football Association has rolled out what they describe as elite academy football, and President of the football governing body, Kate Okreko, says that his office is committed to investing into the economy to ensure that they unearth the best talents to represent the country in future.
You being the historic first batch of the FA Elite Academy, you should indeed happy and count yourself blessed to have been offered this opportunity, part of this school. Your FA is very much committed towards this project. Today, you would have the chance to be with our friends from FIFA who have been very supportive of this Elite Academy. So when the request was made for us to bring you from Upper East part of this project, it didn't hesitate at all, because we thought it was important going to be here, and also to experience Pram Pram. What you have seen in Pram Pram is what we intend to do at the KTS of Krakow in Congo Center. Life is a journey, and what you have seen in Pram Pram is a journey. We will go on that journey in a very good way to also invest in the technical center. Now, all of you have a chance to realize your dreams of being good footballers. You are being led by a good team. They are giving you all the tuition that you need. It's also important for you to be attentive and to learn as much as you can. The uniqueness of this academy also comes from the fact that we are not only giving you the chance to realize your dream of being good footballers, but we're also teaching you the laws of the game. Even at this tender age, that even all of you has also have to see yourselves as possible referees. So that if eventually, after year 3, you decide not to play football, you can decide to go that route and be good referees. So invariably, you're also part of the Academy Young refereeing strategy. I would urge all of you to take your lessons seriously, both on the pitch. It's important you dedicate yourselves towards realizing your goals.
Let's go to Douala, where the African Athletics Seniors Championships is happening. Ghana's Abdul Rashid Samino and Mary Boache, they both made it to the final of the 200 meters in the men's and women's competitions.
Et voilà, ils sont partis pour cette première demi-finale pour les 200 mètres femmes pour se qualifier pour la finale. Les 2 premières de chaque demi-finale et les 2 meilleurs temps au combiné.
C'est parti très vite avec la Côte d'Ivoire et le Ghana. Attention, ça va passer encore très vite pour Télé qui va s'imposer.
Et ils sont partis pour cette deuxième demi-finale pour les 200 mètres chez les femmes. Nous rappelons les 2 premières de chaque demi-finale et les 2 meilleurs temps sur les 3 demi-finales seront qualifiés pour la finale.
Et c'est parti encore très rapidement avec la Côte d'Ivoire qui vient arracher de justesse la première place. Et c'est fait. 22-80 dans l'officieux pour la vainqueur.
Welcome back on the AM show. This morning, we take a brief journey to Kenya, where there have been protests against the new tax laws. In fact, there's a new system, a bill that is before Parliament, a finance bill. The people have kicked against it, and there has been some turmoil in Kenya. We're going to take a statement from the Law Society of Kenya on the back of this, and then I will introduce my guest joining me for this conversation. So looking at this statement from the Law Society of Kenya, you would see that it says, Law Society of Kenya statement on killing of protesters during finance bill demonstrations in Nairobi and across the country is dated the 25th of June. That is yesterday. And it says, I speak to you on this Black Tuesday, not just as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, but equally as a peace-loving patriot. Apart from being the LSK president, that is the Law Society of Kenya president, I am a mother, an aunt, a sister, a daughter, and a wife. Like all mothers whose children have been killed, injured, tortured, or abducted in the hands of cops, I feel the pain of my countrymen. The Gen Z, whom you call children, out in the streets fighting for your fellow parents in National Police Service, Parliament, Cabinet, and air-conditioned government offices. Just imagine your child were out there seeking justice when you were comfortably enjoying life. Have we no shame? Are we still a God-fearing nation? To the clergy, Council of Imams and Preachers, where are you today as the country goes down the slopes of dictatorship without respect for the rule of law? Where is my beloved Catholic Church, or what became of the Kenyan Conference of Catholic Bishops? Where is the Anglican Church of Kenya and the National Council of Churches when young Kenyans are being dropped dead by bullets from police officers? Does the Supreme Council of Kenya, Muslims, still exist? When the time comes to perform burial rites for the dead protesters, what will you tell their family members? Where was the shepherd when the enemy raided and scattered the flock? What stops you men of the cloth from joining peaceful Kenyans in the streets? Or are you comfortably hiding behind the pulpit, waiting for us to come on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, carrying gifts, offertory, and tithes? Is that all you care about? Even if it's not for the finance bill, then please come out and let's protect our children, our brothers, our sisters, or better still, your grandchildren. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen from the diplomatic corps, you may not be Kenyans. It's okay, and we get it. However, does it bother you when armed police officers engage peaceful 15, 17 to 19-year-old girls and boys in running battles? It's signed by the President, Faith Odhiambo, Mwaura Kabata, the Vice President, and it goes on and on down to the Coast Representative. It's a sordid situation, a sad one, in which Kenya is embroiled currently, and many youth have been killed. But the question is, where does Kenya go from here? Joining us for a conversation, we have Kelvin Kaya. He is a leadership and governance expert. Kelvin, good morning. You would have to unmute, Kelvin.
Oh, sorry. Good morning to you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I didn't get your name kindly.
The name is Benjamin Akako. You can just call me Ben.
Pleasure, Ben. Thank you.
Now, I have painted the situation, but just tell me, in the last few days, what exactly has happened in Kenya, and how did these deaths result?
Wow, thank you, Ben. First of all, I joined the president of the, Law Society of Kenya in the same sentiment that she has put forward to question the leadership, to question the church, to question the international community on where their stand is, and as particularly during this state of affairs in the country. Ben, the situation has been boiling all for a long time. It has not been just the last 3 days. The issues Kenyans are raising are issues that have been built up over more than 10 years, but they've been actually skyrocketed or climaxed by the promises that were given by the current president during campaign. The president actually spoke to the youth, and he was speaking the language of the youth. And this youth voted for him in a mass, believing that he was going to be the savior of the challenges. And now this Gen Z, they're actually young people that hold persons accountable to what they say. And so the 2 years of his presidency have been a long wait to see the fruits of what he had promised during campaign. Now, what has happened is that there is a finance bill, and this bill is purporting to tax Kenyans to the last coin. You can imagine, Kenyans can barely put food on the table. Children can barely go to school. We have scenarios where parents are fighting and negotiating whether to buy food or to take their children to school. The young people have lost hope because there are no jobs. There are always promises of we are creating jobs for you. We are going to look for jobs abroad, and you are aware our president has been traveling all over. And so the young people are just saying enough is enough. And so you cannot tax us more. You cannot impose something that is not going to work on us. There are actually very grievous proposals in that finance bill that actually touched the local manager. If you are keen with our news, the president calls the local man the hustler. I mean, the person who is really toiling hard. And so when somebody is toiling hard, why do you go ahead again and tax that person to the lowest coin? So I think just to say is that this issue has been boiling up for quite some time, and this finance bill has actually been the trigger to bring out the anger that the public are having with the youth. And interestingly, even our parents, the Gen X, and now the upcoming, the Gen Alpha, are joining in because it's actually a national conversation and a national issue. I think I would get it there and maybe get to the next question. Thank you.
Is the Kenyan Parliament going ahead with deliberations on this bill as of now?
Unfortunately and sadly, yesterday they actually passed the bill.
It's been passed?
Yes, it was passed yesterday by around noon. It was already been passed. And actually that is what aggravated and really pushed these young people to go into Parliament and bomb them out because, I mean, we've already said we don't want this bill. Why do you sit somewhere and pass it? It's some kind of arrogance, some kind of, telling us Kenyans that we don't matter anymore. And, the vote and the power belongs to us, the people, as per the Constitution. And so the young people were really aggravated. And then also we had killings, live killings. These were peaceful demonstrations. A number of these young people were in black and white, to show that they're in solidarity. But then there were gunshots, live gunshots. There were live gunshots, beatings, and it was not possible then to really tell us as a people that the government is willing to listen to us. And so these young people pushed in. Some of the parliamentarians were actually attacked by this youth. Some of them were because the young people really got into the parliament and really fished them out. So they were being evacuated in ambulances. And these young people also went forward to check these ambulances that were moving from parliament. And there is one case where they found members of parliament sacked in an ambulance, and they were actually attacked. So young people are actually annoyed with the government. People are annoyed with the legislators, and I can say that there is a leadership lacuna in the country. There's a leadership crisis, right from the parliamentarians, the executive that leads to the presidency, because even the president gave a speech overnight. And in his speech, he wasn't even, remorseful to the lives that were lost. He appeared to be very angry and, trying to indicate that there could be more attacks on the people, which is very unfortunate. And so I think the way forward really is there has to be some soberness. There has to be some dialogue between the leadership, the people, and probably the church could come in. Unfortunately, the church seems to be dancing in the tune that is oppressing the people.
I see.
Thanks, Ben.
So in essence, you've painted a number of pictures for us. One, young people, the very people who voted for William Ruto, are very upset with this new finance bill. You're also saying that the president has come out to speak on the back of these happenings, and It sounded as though he was even suggesting in annoyance that if this went on, many more lives could be lost. Is that what you're suggesting?
From the speech yesterday, that is the case. And he's actually calling these demonstrators as, perpetrators, criminals. You could get a clip of the YouTube that went on in the night. Unfortunately, instead of appreciating that these are citizens airing out their grievances in public out of civil right, he takes these young people as criminals. It's quite unfortunate.
I see. And we see that the president has referred to it as treasonous. Well, the attack on, the parliament building and all of that wouldn't be in the best of taste. But I'd like to find out how many lives have been lost. How many can you confirm have been lost as of now?
Oh my God, but I'm not in any capacity to give that number. However, there are over 30 cases that have been recorded, probably in the media. There are still more going on because in the night, after about 6 p.m. Kenyan time, there was another massacre that was released on another sect of community in Githurai because apparently the populace did kill a policeman. And so guys were just, killed helter-skelter. So the numbers would be difficult to say. In all the forums that I'm in and the networks that I'm in, the numbers continue surging. There were those that were actually attacked overnight because there was a release of now the military came out in the evening to attack, and to try and create some order in the disorder. And so there are a number of people we may not be aware currently, but there could also be more. And we have seen cases of abductions. Key civil society persons and persons who speak their voices out have also been abducted. And this, creates more tension even to the demonstrators and to the public at large.
Right before I come back to you, I just want to paint this picture. So, interestingly, some of our members of parliament, in fact, the legislator for Englishi, Englishi Amanfro, Sylvester Tete, is one of those that you saw being evacuated because they were actually in the building when the protests, hit a crescendo, if you like. Nilante van der Poy, I hear, was also there. So some Ghanaian legislators were there when this happened and they had to be evacuated. It actually reminds me of the Capitol building assault under Trump at the twilight of his presidency. But let me ask you, so having come to this point, this tax, the finance bill introduces what? A 16% tax on goods and services and all of that. Walk us through what the stipulations are, if you know, and why people have been so upset with this tax regime.
Thank you. I first of all have to say that already Kenyans are oppressed by the ending financial bill, that is Finance Bill 2023, which imposed a number of heinous taxes also to us people. Now, onto this one, we have so many of those taxes that have been invoked. One of them is the rail levy, fuel levy, road maintenance levy, among many. We also have health insurance, covers that are taxed. We have pay as you earn being increased, and the VAT. Right now, if you want to start a business in Kenya as a young person, you are already being taxed before you start doing the business. So where are we going to? You actually run the business. You are actually being taxed also when you make transactions. We have the famous mobile transaction in our country, the M-Pesa. They've also increased taxation on M-Pesa. So whatever I am doing, when I make business, when I make some profit, I also become taxed when I'm spending the sub money. This becomes so, it's triple, in some cases, double taxation, which is really unfair. And now worse off is we have experienced in the past 2 years that when we pay our taxes, the taxes don't count in terms of service delivery. And it's in public domain that young people, that members of parliament and persons close to the presidency have been dishing out cash. I've been dishing out cash, in volumes, in numbers, in public gatherings and fundraisers, whereas people are actually going hungry. We have seen money allocated for the rehabilitation of the State House, the office of the Deputy President, and money being removed from county, the devolved functions. It is quite strange. 400 million billion being budgeted for county, for the State House rehabilitation, and 350 billion put for counties, whereas we have 47 counties. These are questions that Kenyans are really asking. We also have cases where there are new offices established, like the office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary, the office of the Deputy President, with huge amounts of money. These are really people who are lucky by the fact that they are wives to senior persons in government. Why do we have offices being catered for them and being furnished, at the expense of the local person? So yeah, people are just asking real questions. We have a government that is saying it wants to create jobs. Where does jobs come from? The jobs come from the private sector. How does private sector comes? People have to start businesses. People have to run businesses. People need to do importation, And where you put huge taxes on imports, what does that mean? There are things that we don't produce as a country. We have to import them. Who bears the cost of that taxation? Is the consumer. That's the local person. And so we have to put our case forward. Thank you.
So just to conclude the conversation, what next? What is next for Kenya? Kenyan youth, the Kenyan president, the people of Kenya. What is next for them?
Well, there is a leadership crisis at the presidency and the legislature. I think the president needs to sober up. The advisors need to tell him the truth that he has lost touch with the commoner and he's lost touch with what is real on ground. So, like they say famously in our country, that he needs to climb down. He needs to climb down and listen to the persons. If not, by the bravado that is going on and the chest thumping, there is likelihood to be, a huge crisis in the country, because the revolt is quite open and the youth are quite, encouraged. What happened yesterday is just but a confirmation that they can actually get to State House. They can actually, eject him from the presidency. So he needs to style up and sort of sober up. And for the young people, I see a case whereby in the new government or in the new elections, we're going to have a new, younger, and sober leadership. Because a case whereby young people have actually questioned and discussions are all over. People want to recall their members of parliament who voted yes to the finance bill. I can tell you it's going to be a new generation in the country. However, as persons in advocating for good governance and leadership, we advocate for peace. We advocate for, some kind of dialogue. Okay. And above all, let's not do this at the expense of justice. Let's do it with justice. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelvin. Thank you so much for bringing us those details from Kenya, specifically Nairobi. Kelvin Kenya is a leadership and governance expert. And something he mentioned that got me interested. The people are saying that those members of parliament who voted for the bill, they are going to recall them. They are going to recall them. I've said nothing. Thank you for watching this conversation. We'll be back with more stories right here on the AM Show. We'll be back. Welcome back on the AM Show. And of course, Sweetie Abochi is back as well. Would you like to do us the honors?
Yes, so you know that Ghanaian jurors are on strike over unpaid allowances, which is now delaying justice delivery. 10 months in arrears. They have 10 months of unpaid allowances. Yesterday, there were some cases in court, including some high-profile cases that have now been stalled. And we know that justice delayed is justice denied. So what does this mean? That's what this conversation is about. We are going to unpack. And we have the PRO for the Ghana Bar Association, Xavier Kuje, joining us for a brief conversation. Benjamin.
Mr. Kuje, a very good morning to you, sir. Hope you're well.
I'm good. Good morning. How are you?
I am also well, under the circumstances. How did we get here? The juror system is crucial to our justice delivery. How did we get here? We've had conversations in the past where some of them have made or lodged complaints. This is not the first time. Now, 10 months on, what exactly is happening? How much do you know that you can share with us?
Well, I'm surprised we are still hearing what we are hearing, because I remember last year, close to this time, I believe it was in July, this state thing happened. And for me, it's unfortunate, because these are people who are privileged to serve in this capacity. And arguments have been made at that I heard that because they have been privileged, the impression is being created, shouldn't be pushing what they are allowed. But the point, we didn't promise them they'll do this for free. We told them we'll give them allowance. So for me, they should feel empowered. Next, others to make themselves appeal. Because as our system is, the jury system very tough for the ground is a treated criminal matter. So I would say that whoever is sent average based on them, I don't know how, but these are not people who are being paid on permanent basis, just an allowance doing this kind of. So I would urge them to pay them, because I don't quite a title salary almost every time we get. Personally, last Friday I was a judge. She was right to some of this matters complaint.
So for you, it comes as a surprise that, I mean, we've waited this long and that this situation, like a sore, is still festering.
Yes, why should it be so? Because it is not new. This is a system that has been running for long. So why can't you make provisions for it? Because people's rights are at stake. Those who are involved in such criminal matters now may have to go on remand. Meanwhile, if they keep coming to court regularly, the matters may be determined within the shortest possible time for them to know their fate. I don't think that we should be joking with some of this, because we find money for all kinds of things. This is about people's rights. Why can't we just pay the people to go back and work?
That is a point you make. But before we bring in one of those jurors, my colleague Sweetie will do that, I just want to find out from you, what has been the impact of this on the justicial system? The jurors, their strike and their complaints, what impact has it had on the delivery of justice?
It's had an enormous impact, I would say that, because first there will be delay in delivery of justice relative to the fate of those accused persons. Secondly, of course, as business people, lawyers may also get affected because it will disrupt our calendar, because every lawyer has a diary that is keep. So if a matter is adjourned for today, and because the juror is having kind of work and it might not have to go earlier in time, they really lose some work for the day, because you had lost, you are subject to another for that.
Xavier, hold for us. We'll come back to you shortly. The connection was a bit patchy though, but Sweetie, let's also find out how these jurors feel.
Yeah, so we have Fomin Hakim. He's a juror in the Upper West region. And Hakim, thanks for joining us. In a statement you released, prior to the strike on May 16th, you mentioned that this has put some financial burden on you. To quote you, you say that it's impossible to continue to pre-finance your transportation to and from court. And you know how crucial your role is as jurors to the justice delivery of this country. What would it take for you to call off the strike so justice can prevail?
Yes. Thank you once again for the opportunity given to us to explain our situation. Yes, we in the Upper West region, as the jury members, we are prepared to serious cause to go the work is
Hakeem, let's try this again. You have to reposition the line. You were breaking up, so let's try again.
Yes. Is it okay?
Yes, you were saying.
Yes, I'm saying that we, jury members in the Upper West region, we have taken it upon ourselves to work in the best interest of the justice system in the country. Because if you go to the war prisons and then you see those in remand who come to court on daily basis, and one jury member who is absent, that will take off the system. It can't carry on. So we decided to help the system to promote justice delivery. So that's the reason why we, the upper goes notwithstanding the system inability to pay us for our change and our allowance.
So are you able to pre-finance your transportation to and for court? Because those are one of the things that you cited as the reason for embarking on the strike. So how are you managing it?
Some of them are coming from communities, district to attend court sittings. So if they come on daily basis, sometimes we will sit Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And the normal circumstance, we are not supposed to be, we are also in different institutions working. And that is also hampering our various institutions, our capacities in our various workplaces. So if the few times that we have to sacrifice and come to court, and for over 10 months they are not paying, you think that people will lose interest in the system and it will affect the justice system. So that is our position.
How much, let's put a figure to it, how much are you entitled to earn, let's say if within a month of carrying out your role as a juror, how much are you entitled to be paid?
We as members cannot say a particular figure or an amount, but what we know is that attendance is 100 cedis and sitting is 100 cedis. But the sitting allowances are taxable. So we will not be in the position to know how much tax they slap on it. And it also depends on the juries who attend in a particular month. So some can attend 2-3 times, and that will be your amount. Some can get more than that, depending on the number of times that they call on your case. So that is the point.
So this means that you, the jurors in the Upper West region, are not part of the other, like those in the Greater Accra and the other regions in the country who decided to sit down or sit back from their juror duties. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Before even the jury system is it's a temporal engagement for you to help the state in service justice delivery. So we were told by the High Court Supervising Justice Yusuf Asibe, and the State Attorney, then the senior lawyers involved, that yes, we should also have to put our bit to sacrifice. And exactly that is what we are doing.
Right.
So you say to sacrifice. Obviously, the sacrifice is becoming far too much. But how has this impacted your work as jurors, would you say?
Pardon?
How has all of this, 10 months without getting paid and all that, how has it impacted your work as jurors?
Yes, it's just like I told you, as part of our sacrificial duties to the state. We should also take in mind that we are also working in our various institutions. So if you are sacrificing 1 day or 2 days to the justice system in the country, we see it as a laudable idea. So we want to support the system. Looking at where I am coming from, where I'm working, I work with the Commission on Human Rights. So anything that I will do to prevent my colleagues, jurors, to further sacrifice, that is what we're doing as the head man in the Upper West.
Well, let's
100 CDs for a sitting accumulated over 10 months. Is this money?
So let me ask you, how much are you owed personally? How much are you owed?
Yes, the last time they paid us was 2 months ago or 3 months, and they paid up to April. So from May up to date, they haven't paid. That is about 10 months.
So you've still not given me a figure about how much, because I don't know. You mentioned that it depends on the number of times and all of that. I don't know how many times you, for example, have gone. I just want to have an idea, at least for the 2-3 months that you have not been paid. How much are we looking at?
Not until I visit the attendance, the Jurors attendance book and the sittings book, you won't be able to know.
I see. But averagely, you are paid what?
I can sit at least 4 or 5 times in a month.
Okay. So let's even use an approximation of 4 times in a month over 2 months or 3 months. And
sometimes too, you can attend courts if they are going to empanel new cases. All the jurors will have to come, but not all of you will be selected. So in that case, you can see your name appearing in the attendance sheet and for more than the sittings. So it is only in the auditing edition that you will know how much attendance that you have attended court and how many sittings that you have made.
So per sitting, it is what, 100 cedis?
It's 100 cedis.
Okay.
And that one is non-taxable. And the sitting, that is where you go to do work, that one is taxed. Okay,
right. So even if we were to look at this and if it were 10 sittings for you, for example, averagely over the 3-month period, it could be 12, but I'm just striking an average of about 10, maybe taking out any other empanelments and whatever that could have happened. Yes. That could be about roughly 1,000 cedis, right?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we are only also asking the powers that be to support the system so that to promote justice delivery in the country, especially those on remand.
Right. And you're perfectly right. Let me bring in.
I will use the opportunity to thank the High Court Supervising Judge in the Upper West Region, Justice Yusuf Asibe, and Abdul Shakuri Said. They are actually giving us the encouragement that made us not to go embark on any strike, but to also put our bid in support of the remand prison so that justice delivery will be expedited.
All right, Foreman, we're grateful for your time with us this morning.
Grateful.
Foreman Hakim is a juror in the Upper West Region. Let me bring in Xavier Kujay to cap off the conversation. Xavier, so you've heard it from the horse's own mouth. This is where we are. Some owe 2 to 3 months, others as long as 10 months. And some of them are laying down their tools. For you, in the immediate term, even before we think medium term, what are the resolutions we can bring to bear to ensure that this doesn't derail our justicial system?
I think that our appeal to those on strike to emulate the example of those in our powers, because it's very heartwarming that those in our powers last year were rather on strike, and this time around, even though they've not been paid, they have agreed to it. So I will appeal to the supervising High Court judges in the various affected areas and to speak to the jurors so that they get back to it. And while they also do that, the powers that be also prepared to do whatever they're supposed to do. Because listening to him, I don't think that this is an amount that we cannot pay. We shouldn't be doing some of these things because these are peanuts.
Well, thank you, Mr. Kujay, for joining the conversation. We're grateful for your time. That's the Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Bar Association, Xavier Kujay, who joined us as well. We had Xavier Kujay and Foreman Hakim, a juror in the Upper West region. Sweetie, interesting dynamics. Yeah. Wahala day everywhere.
It's not money enough that they should be owed, to the point that these cases like the J.B. Dankwa case, the killing of the 11-year-old boy in Kaswa, these cases should be feeling the impact of this jurors' strike. I think that really those involved should just, this is really no money, Benjamin. 100 cedis for sitting, and we owe this to jurors. Justice delivery. That's just what I think.
Well, that's it for this conversation, but stay with us. There's still a lot more coming your way right here on the AM show. We'll be right back. Welcome back on the AM show. We focus on the economy now, and President Akufo-Addo says he stands vindicated today when he said, "We know how to bring the economy back," as he touts the government's achievements in blazing through the debt exchange program under the IMF and saving the economy some $4.7 billion in negotiations with the Eurobond holders. The question, though, is what does the end to the debt exchange mean for our economy? Is the economy back on track? Are we out of the woods yet? Are businesses feeling the impact of the gains being touted by government? We're going to break down the issues this morning, and we're joined by our guests. We have Dr. Richmond Atuahene. He joins the conversation. He, of course, deals with a lot of these matters. And we also have joining the conversation the convener for the Pensioner Bondholders Forum, Dr. Atuahene. Both of them join us for the conversation this morning. Dr. Atuahene, a very good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Dr. Atuahene, good morning to you too. I believe we don't have Atuahene yet, but I'll also get our next guest, Charles Kusi Apiakubi, Head Business and Economic Bureau. He also joins the conversation. Later, we'll bring in Dr. Atuahene. So you are with Guta, right, Charles?
That's right.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. But yes, let me start with Dr. Atuahene. We've had some conversations on remittances and other matters, and I know that there have been rebuttals by the Bank of Ghana. I'll give you an opportunity to quickly touch on those before we get into the bit about the debt restructuring and the gains that have been touted as having been made. Doc, quick one.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I want to take this opportunity also to put things clear. You know, a lot of the Bank of Ghana is making what we call PR gymnastics, because they haven't answered any of the questions and they just dance around it. And I'm urging them, and information given to the public is also, part of them are falsehood and baseless. And what I'm saying is that since 2020, the remittances has been going down or stagnated. But in their report, they said remittances are going up. I find it quite incredible. I don't know which data they are following. And again, they said yesterday that the fintechs are colluding with the banks. It doesn't reflect in any part of the banks. I have the chance to do some job with some of the banks, and I'm told that what they are saying is it is not true. And you see, it keep on people like, what is sad, Ben, what is sad is that the interview that I did with you, they took the interview and plagiarized it. That is the saddest thing.
Wait, hold for me. You're saying the Bank of Ghana, the central bank, took our interview and plagiarized it?
And plagiarized it. Yeah, they plagiarized it. I don't know whether people do understand plagiarism. You just pick the things that we discuss and say a media house without even referring to the writer. I mean, what sort of intellectual bankruptcy is that? I urge them to get it right. And I'm giving them 21 days because I have more data and I'm going to reveal it. Because you cannot challenge the World Bank data, which I have confirmed. You are underreporting. And this underreporting comes because the role of the fintech. Yesterday, a statement that they made that is even serious is that there is nobody is withholding foreign exchange as against the Foreign Exchange Act. That is not true. That is completely false. And I'm challenging them, whoever put that issue on he should go and retract it and get the facts right. I was talking about the gaps between World Bank data and Bank of Ghana data. And then you go and you just use English. You didn't answer all the question. Even if you were plagiarizing, I would have preferred that you speak to the data. We talk about data and science and figures. You just dance around it.
Okay.
And I'm urging the governor, whoever is the spokesman, to come back and do a proper PR. What they did here is a disgrace. It's a complete disgrace and shamble. And I didn't answer any question. I have spoken to about 20 people in this country. Right. They all say that they didn't answer your question. You were talking about gaps between what Bank of Ghana report and the fintech and the World Bank.
Right.
And then you go around and dance around it without, and then you even, the saddest thing, Ben, let me plead with you. What is the plagiarism that is what hurts me. Without even acknowledging the person's work. And then you say a media house. What media house? And the media house was your platform. So why couldn't they even mention your name? So that we can say that I came there and we discuss it. So I'm giving them 21 days. Let them retract it and let them get the data and the facts right. Other than that, I will continue to release the data and explain the data to the public. Thank you very much.
Hold for me. We're getting into the next conversation, but let me bring in Charles. Charles, you're with Guta, and I've seen some stories in recent times where Guta, for example, says we pay the cedi equivalent of duty calculated based on the dollar rate, and that is, something you fired at the GRA. But on the back of these developments, where these gains purportedly have been made, what is your understanding of the debt restructuring and how far we've come? Of what benefit has it been to you as members of Guta thus far?
All right. So, very good morning to you. I'm Dr. Atuahene, and to your viewers, and of course to the president of Guta. To the debt restructuring, of course, the basic key appreciation that we have is government was having challenges in paying its loans, and so you have to look at how best you could look for moratorium and some payment holidays. Yes, it is said that they've agreed on some principles, but it's not been effective. So for now, no one can talk about the benefits of a debt restructuring in the system now until this final approval from IMF is given. That is the fact. So there's no need for us to start celebration until we realize the effect of such agreement having a ripple effect in the system. However, it's an awaited results that have been kept for far too long because of the economic ramification of Ghana being blacked out from the capital markets and the lack of confidence this has brought into our investment environment and the ripple effect in collapsing our economy. So we will commend the team that led the conversation. But this is not the first time. We've been here before. The question is, what happened that we've gone back to the same thing? Are we growing as a country? The effect of some of these things, consequences are on business growth, economic growth, and the livelihoods of people. Yes, the president touted that they have the ability to bring the economy back, and they are doing so. But we will leave that to the politicians to make such pronouncement. For us as businesses, we want to look at the economic indicators, how they are affecting our businesses. So if you take a typical inflation, I mean, just to pose whether the government is on track in our economic revamp. Inflation in 2021 was about 9.98%. In 2022 was 31.71%. 2023 was 37.53%. And we are doing 22.27 now. So I asked the question, is there any economic recovery? You look at the trend, it's been increasing.
Hello, Charles. Hello, Charles. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It appears we're having challenges with the connection of Charles via Zoom. We will try to see whether we can reach him via phone so that we can have a proper conversation without the hitches. But I'll come to you, Dr. Atuahene, on the same point. Maybe just looking at the timelines, the Ghana defaulting on the external debt in December 2022, March 2023, engagement with international bondholders, and then in January, an agreement in principle for bilateral debt. All of that has culminated in some of what we are seeing now. Well, formal talks with international bondholders began in March 2024. Then in April, we had that bondholders' initial proposal being insufficient. And then in June 2024, we had an agreement in principle. We'll walk you through the rest of them. But Dr. Atuahene, do tell me, you've heard Charles a member of GUTA, talking about what has happened in between and the promises ad nauseum, which have not necessarily resulted in any reliefs for them. He talks about inflation. He was walking us through inflation over the years and how it has impacted them. What is your reading of the matter on that very point?
Thank you very much. I believe Charles was doing a very good job before he got the Zoom just got cut up. I think if you're measuring economic indicators, Charles said about inflation. I mean, let me be also frank with Ghana. The inflation level that we are in the moment in Ghana, I think is classified, if you look at in international accounting standard, we are a hyperinflation country. Any country that goes above 20, you are hyperinflation. So if people glorify themselves that inflation is coming down, when your sister country, Ivory Coast is 33.6, Togo is 6.8, and you are traveling in 20s, and then you will say that the economy has turned around. Like Charles said, let them use their own definition, how the economy is turning around. A depreciation. I mean, I'm not saying it from my end. Bloomberg has just said is the worst currency in the whole of the sub-region. Is that the way the economy turns around? I mean, if you ask Sister Bochi sitting there, if you go to the market, you really feel the inflation and the currency exchange. So when people say the economy has turned around, because we as a country, we don't even have your own indicators. This multilateral team will come here and tell you that your economy is turning around, and then they will take it. But we have not, as a country, has designed methodology, how we would work our inflation and our GDPR and the KPIs. So they come and tell you, and our people will take it holistically without looking at the reality on the ground. So if you ask the businessman, if you ask ordinary Ghanaian, I don't think the economy has turned around. Look, when in 2016, the inflation was about 15.1. The currency was 4.1. Compare that and use the nominal rate. You find that inflation is nowhere near where we were. So if people say we have turned around, my brother, I find it very difficult to understand where they are coming from, whether they have the same indices and the matrices that we use so that we can say economy has turned around. For me, I just agree with Charles. I don't see it anywhere, and I don't think we are close to it, because I think it's the beginning of the problems and the challenges to come.
Right. Let me bring in the convener for the Pensioner Bondholders Forum, Dr. Edu Anani-Entry. We've seen him many times on many occasions hitting the streets and all that. Interestingly, he's hit the streets today as well. Doc, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am well. I hope you are too.
Yes, by the grace of God.
Right. I do know that you've hit the streets this morning. I want to start from there. Why are you on the streets again this morning?
Well, the Minister of Finance has not made financial provisions that will enable the Bank of Ghana to revoke the licenses of NDK Financial Services, SIC Life Savings and Loans, SDC Financial Services, and Bond Savings and Loans to revoke their licenses and pay us our deposits just as it was done during 2017-2018, when licenses of some financial SDIs were revoked and their deposited funds paid to them. The Bank of Ghana says these four institutions has become insolvent, and under the Banking Act, if you become insolvent, you must go through a resolution mechanism. And the resolution mechanism the Bank of Ghana has determined is revocation of their licenses. And the Bank of Ghana maintains that they are willing to revoke the licenses today if the Ministry of Finance makes financial provisions towards the payment of our deposits to us. That is why we are on the Ministry of Finance. And until they do that, they make financial provision. They come and tell us that they have provided for this, for the licenses to be revoked for us to receive our locked-up funds, we will continue to picket every Wednesday at the Ministry of Finance.
Which are the 4 institutions again?
NDK Financial Services, SIC Life Savings and Loans, Bond Savings and Loans, and SDC Financial Services. Bank of Ghana says they have become insolvent, and so their licenses must be revoked. But they are waiting on the Minister of Finance to make financial provisions towards that, so that as soon as they revoke these licenses, they will pay us our deposits, just as was done in 2017-2018, when they revoked the licenses of some specialized deposit-taking institutions and paid clients their deposits. This is a simple matter.
Right. So you're going to be picketing there every Wednesday. But let me find out from you, when it comes to the latest debt restructuring, as far as the externalities are concerned and the gains that supposedly have been made, the President, Akufo-Addo, is touting and saying that they had said they knew how to bring the economy back to life and that they are doing exactly that. You've heard the finance minister in recent times talking about the gains they have made, the billions they have saved. But are you feeling that impact? And what is your position on that?
I am very happy the government has made, or the nation has made, that savings, which according to the minister is in excess of $8 billion. That is good news. We must use part of these savings to clear all locked-up funds in this industry. This financial sector must be cleaned properly. And by the grace of God, if we have gotten this $8 billion, then we don't have any more challenges talking about we don't have money to clean. Now government must pay everyone whose money is locked up in the financial market as a result of the inflow that the savings that we have made. Only a little part of these savings can clear all these lock-up funds. Then the rest, we sit down and plan properly how to use this. If you ask me, my view is that a large proportion of this fund, after clearing these financial sector issues for everybody to get his or her money back, we must commit part of this fund into what I have been championing, advocating when I was at SEC, Infrastructure Development Company. And I have said that that infrastructure fund that government established, I'm happy it was the advocacy I made when I was at SEC that resulted in this establishment. My view was that it should be like an equity fund. Government should come in with not more than 20%. Let the internal and the external financial institutions come in with the rest. So if we target about 2 billion infrastructure fund, government comes in with only 200 million. The rest is by the private sector. Then they will use based on their balance sheet, go to the market, float bonds to develop our infrastructure in this country,
right,
which will pay back our roads, our bridges. So now that we have gotten this money, it is easier for government to establish that with the private sector, and then we go. So we must use this money very, very effectively. An infrastructure development company is the way to go. Now government say we didn't have money. Now we have the money. Let's put some, engage the private sector and set up an infrastructure development company in this country and develop infrastructure that will pay back itself. And let us be a little, so that we free government budgetary allocation for the development of infrastructure in this country.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Edu Anani-Antwi. I know you're on the move, so I'll let you go for now. He is convener for the Pensioner Bondholders Forum. Charles, can you hear me now?
Hear you now.
Okay. Let me just ask you a simple question. On the back of some of the claims that were made by the finance minister, Dr. Amin Adam, some economists came out and said, listen, these are not the real figures. But I want to find out from you, do you actually believe that we have made all these savings that the finance minister says we have on the back of the closure to the debt restructuring program?
I cannot speak to it because...
Charles, you would have to speak up. Please speak up. Speak up.
Can you hear me now?
You sound a bit low, but go ahead.
Okay, I cannot either confirm or otherwise of the claims made by the finance minister because I have not cited any document whatsoever he is making his claims for. However, we want to believe him on the principle of good faith, that the finance minister will not leave this and who to us. So we will only watch how some of these things bring speed to business and also make stop. Until such a time, we cannot doubt. Because like the old adage, that is key. If the bad priest prophesied when omen also, we want but
Charles, we're losing you. The connection is pretty bad. Maybe you could just reposition yourself a bit and try again. Charles, just reposition yourself and let's try this again. Hello, Charles. All right, let me bring in Dr. Atuahene. What are your thoughts on this? Do you actually believe that the claims that are being made are true? Because if we have that kind of money or those resources, then we could feed that back into the economy, right? What's your take, Dr. Atuahene?
Thank you very much. Is in accounting wise, what you're doing is the interest that you're supposed to pay that has been reduced to give you that breathing space.
Right.
So if the year hasn't come or you haven't done it, there is no way. You only anticipate that you should have paid, say, 3 billion, but you're now paying, say, 400 million. So it is about the debt rescheduling and the rate profiling that brings in. So it's not just a straight currency that comes in. I mean, it is the savings you make from not paying a certain interest that gives you that leeway. So if you haven't paid, maybe what you can say that in 2023, we didn't pay. So that would be a savings to that amount. But you see, the minister is talking about talking to up to, say, 2026. That's why he's projecting that amount of money. But even that one, it is not money that you are going to just get from overseas or what. It is the savings that you were used in the paying of the interest. That is why you are making that savings. So we shouldn't be jumping in the air, hopping and jumping as if something is coming in. No, and it is what we have done is that instead of you paying 3 billion, if the interest is 3 billion, you've been told not to pay a whole lot. So you make it savings up. So in the 2025, 2024, you make all these savings. That is whole thing about. So Ghanaians should be very, very circumspect about what is going on. It is not a question of jubilating of anything. It is not a question of that we have gotten this money in. It's not like, let me put it on record. It is not like the HEPIC, where there was debt forgiveness, where certain monies were foreign money came in. But this one is different. You're going to benefit because you're not going to pay the upright. You know, we pay about 2.5 to 3 billion every year on interest. And it is through this interest that they manage not to keep it on that level. That will bring us that savings. So that savings is not something that comes in straight away. So we shouldn't jubilate as it is. Because if the year doesn't come, or we're not able even to, as we defaulted, we could even default by not getting so much money so that we can say we have saved it. So I want to make it clear to Ghanaians that the debt restructuring achievement is not something that comes with direct, it's an indirect. So we shouldn't be celebrate as such until we get the program going.
Right, Dr. Atuahene, I'll bring in Charles shortly. And what you're saying reflects my thinking exactly. It's not money that you are getting coming in. It's savings that you make over time. So assume you owe the bank some debt, but now they say, oh, for the next few months, you are not going to be paying, interest on that loan. Then obviously there are some gains. I get that. So it also means that people shouldn't be too expectant. I mean, Guta the pensioner bondholders, they shouldn't be expecting that any magic wand will be, flashed around and that things will be better with the economy. Is that what you're saying?
I think, Ben, you're just right. You're too right. I mean, I cannot dispute what you're saying. We have been in a bank before. If we do the restructuring, we tell you that you're not going to pay the interest, say 20%. We tell you that you're paying 10%. So that's between the 20 and 10 is the savings you make. So it is not something you jubilate and say that the money is somewhere coming in the economy. So those who doesn't understand the external debt restructuring are trying to take it as if some money is going to come from somewhere. Let us make it clear. As you said, it's not time for jubilation. It is a time that we should ask ourselves, why have we done so much distraction to ourselves? And now we are just going to squeeze ourselves, our ability not to pay the interest, to use it as a savings. So if you say that they should give you money to go and pay for the bonds, that money is not, you see, it's Latin. It's called nemo dat non compebet. No one claims what
you cannot give what you do not have.
You don't have it. I mean, it is not money. 8 billion is not sitting there. If the 8 billion is sitting there, the CD, the dollar, the CD and the dollar, I think the dollar will move to 1.1 to a dollar.
Right.
I'm telling you, it's not there. It's not there. So your assertion is right. And people should not see it. Like Mr. Ken Thompson said yesterday, we should not see it as if something is going to come to help us. No.
All right. Let me bring in Charles one more time. Charles, can you hear me?
Yes, sounding clear. Can you hear me too?
I can hear you. You were making a point on interest, interest rate, or is it inflation over the years? Just walk quickly through that and let me shoot my next question.
Very well. I was trying to say that just to pose the touting of the president that they have the ability to bring the economy back and they are doing so. So I was giving you a trend of our inflation just to either confirm whether the president's statement is reflective in what is happening in the system. And of course, when you look at the trend, it does not actually support that claim that there's a turnaround in the economy. However, businesses are collapsing. A lot of businesses are complaining. Our debt level is going high with the bank. There's high delinquencies. A lot of businesses are also going through debt restructuring with the bank because sales have ceased. The economic activity has ceased within the business environment. We want to make this serious, point that we've got to a time and point in a time at a country that we shouldn't play politics with the economy because people are collapsing, people are dying because they see their business, they see their investment collapsing each and every day. So there's a need to take pragmatic steps to avoid the situation, not rhetorics. But as I said earlier on, we commend the finance team for able to achieve that milestone with a debt restructuring with the external debtors. Of course, money that we're supposed to pay them will be money that we can fly back into the economy to see our economy doing well again. And I know, of course, there have been some debt cancellation with a debt relief to us as a country, about $4.7 billion, which, of course, reduces our debt level. And, of course, will probably be the leeway for us to get back to the capital market. Yes, we need money to run this economy, so we commend them so well. However, there's a need for government also to take pragmatic steps to ensure that there's prudence in our financial space, our fiscal space. Is there a need for government to reintroduce the Fiscal Responsibility Act that will cap government expenditure and also cap the borrowing rate that government could probably borrow within the domestic market so that there will be some relief for businesses. The moment government increases expenditure, he puts the burden on business by taxation, and business is already collapsing. So there's a need for government to sit down, analyze the current situation, blind himself from politics, and see what legacy am I leaving for the business community. That is our core.
Well, we're going to have to cap it off here. I'll just take final words from both of you, and then we can go. I'll start with you, Charles, because your connection has not been so stable. Final words. What are the expectations of GUTA as far as this is concerned, realistically?
Right. Our expectation basically we don't, just like Dr. Atuahene said, we shouldn't have high hopes. But we're looking at leadership. And leadership here, I'm looking at responsibility from leadership. I'm looking at accountability from leadership. Where leaders become responsible to the people that give them the power to govern us and take decisions that will be in the final interest of the little Ghanaian in the economy. So basically, that's our expectation, that from now to the end of December, the government will start introducing some pragmatic policies that will alleviate the burden that we are finding ourselves in as a country.
Right. Charles, thank you so much for your time. Dr. Atuahene, you have the final word.
Thank you. What I would say is that we shouldn't jubilate over this debt rescheduling or reprofiling, because all that we are saying is that when come 2026, then bilateral payment starts. Come 2029, 2028, 29, the external Eurobond starts. So it is not a question for glorification or jubilation. What they should do is that what strategies are we putting ahead so that when this interest and principal become the payments accrued on its due, we'll be able to pay. Other than that, as I've said in various forums, and I'm going to say it here, if we don't take it with the jubilation, we are going to the debt trajectory posture of Argentina and Greek. For every 4 years, they go to IMF for debt rescheduling because you haven't put any strategy to be able to pay the outstanding interest that is due to them on 2026 and 2029. And also, when you come to the internal debt restructuring, it has destabilized the whole system. I mean, it has you heard my friend from Guta. I mean, the businesses are, I spoke to the Ghana Chamber of Commerce not too long ago. People are folding up. They are folding up. So if we are looking at only somebody is saving you and you are not taking care of your internal matrices or KPIs, then you are in trouble. I mean, look at the level of non-performing in the industry, on the banking industry.
Right.
It's nothing to write home about. Contractors are not being paid 29 billion. Electric, what do we call it? These people in electricity or generation, that's 1.6 billion.
The IPPs.
So what are we celebrating? We are celebrating for what? Because we have certain things hanging our neck that we must be prepared to solve it until we solve that. I mean, government cannot continue to borrow, as my friend said. You go to you've left the bond market, and now you've gone into treasury bill market. You're borrowing as if that tomorrow is not there. I plead with them. Let them cut their coat according to their cloth. We don't see it. You see all these things that people are suffering. We don't see the expenditure control, the tight expenditure control. Today you hear somebody has appointed this. Today you hear somebody has appointed that. Where are we going to get money to pay all these things? Let them be physically disciplined, so that we all tighten our belt. Today, as I say, I have tightened my belt. I cannot afford to pay certain things, but some people are living affluently as if Ghana is as it was in the 80s or in the 60s. No, let them begin to realize that things are tough, and let them also decide to be tough, not just spending thrift. Let us cut their coat. If we do that, maybe 2-3 years, we'll be able to pay the external debts, service is very well, and the economy would also turn around. That is what I'll say for the time being, Ben.
Dr. Atuahene, thank you for joining the conversation. Those who joined this conversation, we had Charles Kusi Apiakubi. He is head of business and economic bureau. He's also with Guta. We also had joining the conversation, and they are out on the streets today picketing the Ministry of Finance. I'm talking about convener for the Pensioner Bondholders Forum, Dr. Edu Anani Entry. And our last guest, whom you just heard speaking, Dr. Richmond Atuahene. He's a corporate governance and banking consultant. They joined us for this conversation. But stay, there's still a lot more action coming your way on the AM show. We'll be right back.
Welcome back on the AM show. Quite a cocktail we're serving you this morning, huh? We started from the news review, and then went to some continental issues, that protest in Kenya over increased taxes. And then we looked at the economy. And now let's celebrate our heroes. It's 3 more days to go, and the multimedia group is celebrating heroes touching lives in their various communities under the Joy Impact Makers Award. 10 nominees, 10 heroes. I mean, in a bit, we'll hear from some of these giants and what makes them special. But out of these 10, these 10 nominees will be awarded in 3 days. I want us to just take a swipe at who these individuals are and what they're doing that is so special before we get on the phone and speak to one person for today. Let's start off with Eunice Esiedu Ajapong. And she's a young teacher who was initially posted to a non-existent school, although she wanted to be close to her family. And with her support, or with the support of the local community, she took the initiative to establish the school, initially starting with just 7 pupils in a church building, generously provided by a local pastor. And through her unwavering dedication, perseverance, and hard work, what was once a non-existent school has now transformed into a fully operational educational institution within the church premises. Next, we have Dr. Kwame Sakwa Edu, who is a prominent figure in sustainable beekeeping, dedicated to improving rural livelihood across Ghana and beyond. And although he does have a background in agriculture, but what he's doing is equally important. We also have Gloria Ladi Adankurugu, also known as the celebrity teacher, and she's the founder of GLA Foundation, a non-profit organization dedicated to offering educational opportunities to marginalized individuals and empowering them to become catalysts for positive change. We will speak to Gloria in the course of the day. We also have, as part of our heroes for this year, Reverend Sister Jacinta Ekua Kwachewa Osei, and she boasts of a robust educational degree. She commenced academic journey with basic education at Akim, but she's been celebrated for her commitment to education and humanitarian deeds, gathered so many awards and scholarships and accolades in her work. We also have Andrew Ejenim Boateng, an accomplished professional with a solid foundation in education and community development. Andrew's vision transcends individual projects. He strives to narrow the digital gap between rural and urban areas by empowering communities to drive their development. And then Rhoda Koda Wedam is a dedicated social entrepreneur and founder of the Songba Empowerment Center, located in the northern region of Ghana. Her commitment to menstrual hygiene education is equally noteworthy, recognizing the profound impact that menstrual health has on girls' education and overall well-being. She has distributed over 15,000 reusable sanitary pads and authored a comprehensive guide, No More Suffering in Silence. Next on my list, we also have Samuel Nana Bekai Director. Director is a young agricultural engineer who graduated from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, and he's undertaking some projects. We also have Nicholas Kofi, a banker and auditor by profession, and the founder of My Help, Your Help Foundation. And he views it as a ministry bestowed upon him by divine calling. What he does is provide education and skills training for orphans and vulnerable people in his community, rather. Then Joel Dia Afi, a 2019 Mandela Washington Fellow. And what does Joel do? Joel reduces maternal and neonatal mortality efforts. So Joel drives the Safe Deliveries campaign and prompts medical interventions to lead to the reduction in maternal and neonatal deaths. I think the last person on my list this morning is Joseph Majom. He's a hydrogeologist, a wash specialist, that is water, sanitation and hygiene specialist, and sustainability professional who has also dedicated himself to enhancing safe water across Ghana and beyond. My guest this morning, one of the nominees for Impact Makers Awards, and I must add though, that is the first time in this country, in the history of this country, that a media house is identifying, recognizing and awarding ordinary citizens doing extraordinary work in their communities to transform the lives of the people in their communities. Gloria Ladi Adakurugu joins me on phone now. Gloria, it's good to have you join the conversation. How are you feeling this morning?
I'm good, super excited. I can't wait to be in Accra on Saturday.
Oh, you join us on Zoom. It's lovely to see your face.
Thank you.
Congratulations in advance. So tell me briefly.
Thank you so much.
What are you doing in your community that makes you so special, that has earned you this spotlight as an awardee for the Joy Impact Makers Awards?
Okay, I am a teacher by profession. So when I was posted to a village in Eastern Region of Tekpolu, that was where I did my teaching practice. I realized these kids were facing a lot of challenges. When they come to school, they don't have basic things like pen, pencil, erasers, exercise books, shoes, uniforms. So as little as my salary was, I decided to step in as their parent and provide these things for the kids. So it started way back in 2011, and I'm here today. I've been to about 3 regions, supported them with stationaries, uniforms, renovated classrooms, provided furniture, sanitary pads, a lot.
For God and country, huh? But Gloria, as an individual, what is the intention behind this marvelous work that you started doing 13 years ago? What was that clarion call that you got that you should do this, or you needed to do this for the interest of this, these pupils whose lives you have transformed now? What was it for you?
I've been there before. I come from a very humble background, struggling during my school days. This basic educational things was difficult for me. So when I became a teacher, in fact, I really understood the kids' pains they were going through. So it was the experience I had that gave me the motivation to also step in and help these kids.
And so far, how do you feel about all this work that you're doing? I mean, ahead of the actual award ceremony, how are you feeling right now? Looking back, 13 years of work, 13 years of impact.
I'm super excited, as I said earlier on. I'm so humbled. I thought there was something I was doing in my corner. I didn't know I would be projected on such a big media platform, honoring me, and I'm super excited. I don't know. I'm so grateful. I'm very happy.
Gloria, you do know that all 10 of you will be awarded, but there would also emerge one overall winner. That is the overall impact maker. Do you have your eye on that?
Well, once I'm part of the 10, I feel like I'm a winner already, because looking at the number of people who applied, and I am here today, I'm a winner. If it's God's will to be the overall winner, so be it.
All right. So tell me briefly about your expectations, what you hope to achieve after this award ceremony, and what you intend to do with the recognition that you're getting now.
Okay. So I feel like me being projected and honored on such a big platform, I'm going to be shown to the world. And I believe everybody should be a philanthropist in your little way. You don't wait to be a billionaire. So this huge platform will give me the opportunity to advocate to people to also come on board and help, because the job is very huge. We can't do it alone. We need a lot of people to come on board. So my expectation for the program on Saturday is also to have fun, appreciate people, and also thanks my donors, especially my Facebook friends, my social media friends, my families, everybody close to me who has supported GLA Foundation up till now.
Thank you so much, Gloria Ladi Adakrugu, who is also known as the celebrity teacher. And I wish you all the very best come Saturday.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me too.
All right, that's it. Just one of our 10 heroes that we are awarding come Saturday for the Joy Impact Makers Awards. Just to tell you that whatever you're doing in your small corner, don't do it for eyes. Do it because, you know, God wants you to do it. But coming up next, we'll talk about the Joy Habitat Fair. Stick and stay. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Let's talk about the Ecobank Joynews Habitat Fair. Over a decade and more of bringing you the best deals, and mostly or often powered by Cities and Habitat GH Limited. And I have a guest in the studio with me from here. We have Aaron Ni Odate Lamte joining us for a conversation. All you need to know come this weekend, starting from Friday, Saturday through to Sunday, the Ecobank Joynews Habitat Fair. And this theme, the theme for this year is get a house, make it a home. That's what you have. No, you have rent to own. Let's start the conversation by what's on your shirt. What does rent to own mean to you?
To own is more of a scheme that has been developed to make acquisition of homes simpler for Ghanaians, looking at the economic trends and how expensive things are. We decided to spread the payment for owning a home over a period so that clients will be able to acquire a home. And this one comes when you pay 30% of the home, you move into the house. So you'll be inside the house as if you're renting it. But after you complete payment and you own the house. So that is the rent-to-own scheme.
It works like a mortgage system. You get some bulk money to buy a house? Or
no, we actually spread it equally within the year. So you pay gradually till it gets to 30%. So we are not saying pay something upfront. We are saying that since it's difficult to be able to pay the lump sum, pay it gradually. If it is 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 every month, you can put it down.
Idea. So you're living in the house and you're paying for it just like you pay for your rent.
That is it.
Who qualifies to get some of this great deal?
Anyone qualifies to be part of the rent-to-own system. I mean, anyone who has the means to pay, you'll be able to raise that financial installment to pay. You have the chance to be in it. Any Ghanaian.
So what's new this year, both from the Ecobank Joynews Habitat Fair and from Cities and Habitat Ghana Limited? What's new?
Okay, so we've been part of the Habitat Fair since 2020, and then we are not reneging on our promise to be part of the Habitat Fair, because as our name implies, we are cities and habitats, making sure that everyone have a good habitat or a place to stay. So we are coming on with a lot of goodies. With the Joy Habitat Fair, we normally come there, we slash the registration fee by as much as 50% to anyone who comes to register to be part or start owning the home. And then we also have spread our lands too. We have service land within the city. The concept of cities and habitats is actually to address the challenges with urbanizations. So you know that you go and live in a house, the next day your next door neighbor have changed the house into a church. You think you are going to rest from work, but there will be all nights which will make it difficult.
My story, I'm sandwiched between two churches, and on Sundays, anyway.
So you wake up more stressed than you even got home with, and it affects our output. So this one is a controlled environment, a controlled space, city that has been built where everything is within that space. You have your schools, you have your churches, you have your shopping malls, there'll be a market, there'll be police station, lorry parks and all that. So that if you are an entrepreneur, you can choose to be within that space and not even worry about traffic on stretches and all that, traveling from Kaswa to Accra to work. So that is what Cities and Habitat is trying to address. So we are coming on board, giving goodies. And this time around, we want to launch a new package. But that one, we just want to leave it hanging. Everyone will be guessing what is coming.
For a surprise, huh?
A big surprise.
It's always good to leave out that element of surprise.
A big surprise.
So before I take your final words, and then how to contact you, I mean, because I'm sure some of our audience would like to get in touch. What is the price range of these houses that, I mean, just in case I, for example, wanted to come on board, what are the ranges that you operate in?
Okay, so we have 2-bedroom ranging from 986,000, coming to the luxurious homes, that is like the villas going to by 2 million, 2,600,000 thereabout.
Okay.
So it
these are
ranges
already built houses?
No, some have been built.
Okay.
Some have been built, some are yet to be built. As I said, most of the challenges also with the real estate companies is build a house, and the one who is coming to buy is not to the taste of the person, because as we grow, our taste changes. So this is a request. You come to cities, I want this house to be built for me. We start building for you. As you pay your installment, by the 30%, the house is ready, then you move in. So that is the concept. So any house you see on the land that is being built belongs to someone and has a request for it, so that it doesn't attract
that
interest.
clarified it. So
yes.
Pay up to 30%, then the house is completed, and then you move in, and then you
continue
complete
paying.
your payments.
Yes.
That's smart thinking.
Yes.
Anything else we've left out, and then you can include how to get in touch with you.
So currently, Cities and Habitats, we have, as at the time we're starting Habitat Fair last year, the buildings were coming up, but most people have not moved in. That is our clients. But by the close of Habitat Fair last year, I think about 7 of our clients have received their homes, and they are moving and living within the space. So they are working together with us. So it's something that is ongoing, and everyone is urged to be part of it. If you want to reach Cities and Habitats, we have our website, newaccra.city. Newaccra.city. Any information about the type of building, the land size we have, the size of the city, everything is available there. If you want to reach us by contact, we have 0555 30300.
Please do that again.
05555 30300.
All right.
Then we have 0577 911101.
Okay.
0577 911101. So these lines comes to Cities and Habitats.
Aaron Ni Odate Lamte from Cities and Habitats GH, powering the Ecobank Joynews Habitat Fair this year. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with us. And we're looking forward to seeing you.
Certainly.
Over there.
There'll be a lot of goodies for you.
What are we seeing on our screens right quickly before
So this is the internal architecture of the villa. The luxurious villa. Yeah, there's a 3-bedroom one that has been handed over to a client.
Okay, so someone lives in here now?
Yes, someone is moving now.
So if you want to own a home like this, you know who to call, you know where to go. But it starts from the Habitat Fair this weekend. So join us from Friday through to Sunday. There's still more coming up on the AM show. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Still on the Joynews Ecobank Habitat Fair 2024. Let's engage some more businesses who are powering or sponsoring this year's event. I have in the studio with me Nicholas Sowate from Global Lightning, and he's the marketing executive, and Obri Menu Yeboah, Safety and Homes Solutions, and he's also the marketing manager. Gentlemen, it's good to have you in the studio. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Let me start from Safety and Home Solutions. Tell me a little bit about your company and what you do. What is Safety and Home Solutions?
Safety and Home Solutions is all about doors and also waterproof chemical solutions. We started a business 6 years ago, and with a small shop, but currently we have over 4 different showrooms, and then we have over 100 display doors in our showroom with variety. We have exterior doors, we have internal doors, also we have security doors, and then pivot doors.
Okay, quite a success story there. We started from a small place and now we have 4 showrooms. I like that. Okay.
As we are growing, so we want to get more avenues where we can grow, and Habitat has been good to us last year. So this year we want to again be on the platform.
So you're a returning sponsor. That's fantastic. Nicholas, you're also a returning sponsor, and I want to believe that Global Lighting is into lighting. But tell me briefly, what do you do?
Okay. Global Lighting, we are into lighting and lighting fixtures across Europe and some parts of Asia. And for the past 20 years, we've been in the lighting business. We decided that we don't want to only come when the building is done, so we've also introduced some electrical items like the PVC pipe, the ceiling fans, the conduit boxes, the switches and sockets as well. So that is what Global Lighting is all about, lighting and electrical staffs.
Okay. As returning sponsors, I'm sure you're bringing something new and exciting on board this year. So what's different? What should we expect from you? I'll start from you, Nicholas. You just ended your...
Oh, okay. So this year, just like every year, we have discounts that we bring on board. We have new products that we introduce. And this year, too, is not going to be, there's going to be a little bit different from what we did last year. This year, we are introducing more of electrical items attached to the lighting aspect as well. We are also bringing professionals to come and educate exhibitors about how to apply their lights and the best way to use lighting as well. And this time, too, we are looking at a very good discount for all those who come to our stand and patronize us.
Safety and Home Solutions, are you also giving us some discounts? What's new this year?
Yes, this year we are about to display our new products range, which start from weatherproof and waterproof security doors. Also, we have them in interior doors, and then we have a wide range of smart digital locks, which are from India with high digital technology. Also, we are coming with 15% discount at the fair, and anyone who buys from us, we give you free installation and free delivery within Accra and Tema. But our installations are nationwide. Free installation nationwide. Okay,
so as individuals, why would you, how would you encourage our audience to come on board or to join us for this Habitat Fair and come and see some of the wonderful products that you have on board?
Yeah, we encourage everyone to be at the exhibition fair on the Achimota Retail Center to see the wide range of security doors that we have. In fact, if you have a house and your security is not that strong, it's very, very serious matter. So you have to come and view all the samples we have, and then you get it at an affordable price.
Okay, thanks, Obiri. Nicholas?
Okay, so this year, the reason why you need to be at our stand is we are looking at bringing lighting. You know, if you can't come to our showroom to get advice on how to lighten up your home, those around the Achimota, because the first clinic is being held at Achimota, those around Achimota, La Paz, and its environs, you can always come there to get an advice on how to apply your lights. You can also come, and we are even bringing items that would be for sale. So you can come there and also buy some things for your homes and your companies and your projects as well. You can also bring us a BOQ so that we can also do an invoice for you so that you know how much you are going to spend on your building or how much you are going to spend on a whole lightening of your home. So you need to be at our stand.
Okay, so be at the Achimota Retail Center, Achimota Mall, on 30th of June 2024 for amazing products and cool discounts on all these items. So how do we contact you individually? I'll start from you, Obiri. How do we contact Safety and Home Solutions?
We are located on the Spinters Road, Plot 34, opposite the First Atlantic Bank. You can also visit us on Facebook, Instagram at Safety and Home Solutions, all at one word.
Okay.
And also you can get us on 050-994-5002.
Again?
050-994-5002.
994-5502.
994-5002.
5002. Okay, great. Nicholas,
okay,
how do we contact you?
Global Lighting, we have our main head office on the Spinters Road at the Victory Junction. Okay, the same building with Solomon. We're on the Solomon building. We also have other Solomon building. Okay. It's just on the Victory Junction.
Okay.
It's between Batuna Total and Texpo Markets.
Okay.
Okay, so we also have a branch at Opera. We are directly opposite the Opera Square building. Then Kumasi, from there, Ahoji roundabout towards the main Kumasi. We are just opposite the Palace Mall. Then you can also reach us on 027-999-6699. So 027-999-6699, and on social media at Global Lighting Center.
Thank you, gentlemen, for first sponsoring this year's Habitat Fair and joining us to shed some more light on what you do individually as companies and what our audience should expect come 30th of June 2024 at the Achimota Mall. Nicholas Sowate is from the Global Lighting, and he's a marketing executive and Global Lighting, and he's a marketing executive. And Obiri Menuyeboa is from Safety and Home Solutions, and he's also the marketing manager. These two companies sponsoring this year's Joynews Ecobank Habitat Fair 2024. There's still more to come. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Okay, there's still more to come on the AM show. We'll be right back.
Welcome back on the AM show. If you're Catholic and you're a youth, well, this is your moment. That Youth Congress is coming up under the auspices of the Archbishop of Accra. But joining me in the studio to elaborate on these matters, tell us what exactly we can expect, we have joining us Charles Adiya Kusi Jr. I don't know whether he's the footballer. I'll have to ask him. And we also have Elvis Owusu, both of them joining the conversation. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is there a thing with Catholic youth? I mean, the hairstyle is the same. I don't know whether to grow my hair. Or
we are from the Bad Company Division.
Bad Company Division.
Yes. Nominated as
But I see you are present and connected.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. That's good to hear. Tell us why this Youth Congress and what we can, look forward to, even before we talk about the date, where it's happening, and the other activities. I'll start with you.
Okay. So the Youth Congress is the vision of the Archbishop. This year, he instructed the youth body to, organize this Congress to give him the platform to be able to listen to his youth. As the church is growing, as, day in, day out, churches are being added to the fold, he wants to have a true picture of what is happening as far as the youth are concerned. Of course, every now and then you may hear some challenges in certain quarters here and there, but he wants to be able to have the full picture of what exactly is happening in the Archdiocese. So that is the reason for the Congress this year. It is the sole vision of our Archbishop.
Okay, sole vision of our Archbishop, of course, this year in itself also dedicated to the youth. And all of that.
And children.
And children.
Yes.
Well, let me find out from you, what is special about this Youth Congress? What's so special about it?
Okay, let me tell you two things. This has never happened before. It has never happened.
Just been seen that.
It's been seen that. It's the first of its kind.
Okay.
And one thing which is so special about this is we are meeting the Archbishop in person. He'll be there to listen to us and even to make some recommendations and suggestions to us. So whatever we are going through, whatever, it could be in school, it could be at work, we are called upon to come. These are the two things that makes this Congress special.
I see. And moving on from there, who is invited? All Catholic youth in the Archdiocese? What form is it going to take? How is this going to be organized?
Okay.
Before we get to the dates.
Right. So the Congress is in two parts. We have the delegates conference. So we have delegates from certain selected parishes that are going to go into a camp of sorts. It's starting today to Friday. And then we have the Grand Derby, which is on Saturday. So the Grand Derby is what is open to all youth in the Archdiocese.
I see.
So on Saturday, all Catholic youth, we are meeting at Elwak Sports Stadium to be able to continue the dialogue and move our church forward.
Okay, and that Grand Derby is the one that will also have the music festival, right?
Exactly.
Our very own Peter Usu and Sam.
Exactly.
That guy, Peter Usu and Sam.
You know him?
Oh, I know Piero. Yeah, personally.
He's a good guy.
Now there's a day in America guy. But what do you feel? I mean, what are your expectations of the Grand Derby on D-Day?
We have a crop of people behind the scenes who are making sure that this thing comes up in a grand style. And I'm just telling every youth out there to expect something different.
Something different?
Different, because this Congress is not going to be the usual one. It's going to be different. Actually, the entrance of the whole, venue will make you aware that this is something.
You are giving away our secrets. It's a secret. They are supposed to come and be wild. Now you have told them what we are planning.
Can we roll that back?
As for being wild, yeah, they have to know. Team Jesus will be there, right? Team Jesus will be there.
Yes.
And there are going to be myriad performances as well.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Okay. JP Ni Andy is going to be there. We have one MC who is known in the Catholic sphere. His name is MC Kofi Tagbo. He's going to be there also.
Oh, I see.
And we have Minister
Joshua
too is going to be there. So
I see.
There are a whole lot too.
So just to walk through them, day one, arrival, day two, that's the delegates conference at the St. Paul Seminary. So the listening discussion sessions like you made mention of.
Yes.
And then there'll be the procession and float, the Grand Durbar, so the LWAC one. Sure. Just walk us through what shape is going to take. I've mentioned the music festival, but
Yes.
what else is going to happen?
Okay, so on the day, we'll begin with the float.
Okay.
It's split into two. We have Accra East and then Accra West.
Okay.
Accra West would converge at Christ the King and then move towards LWAC. Accra East at CFAO area and then move towards the LWAC. When we get to LWAC, we'll have some time to settle down. We'll have time for confessions and all of those. Then we'll have a mass.
Okay.
After the
mass at around 11 a.m.
Yes, at around 11 a.m. Then after the mass, we'll go into our open forum, where we'll also give the opportunity to everybody there to be able to share their mind, what is on their mind, what suggestion do you have for us, or what do you think, if the bishop is aware, maybe it may help him manage the diocese better. That would happen between 11 to 1 o'clock. We'll have a little break for lunch. Then the music festival, as you mentioned, would begin. Of course, we cannot come as youth and just talk, and then go home. They say all work and no play. So we have to play some more. So that's why we have the music festival for us to be able to ginger ourselves a little.
You just tell me, Yebeshi Jama.
Oh yes, why not?
Yebeshi Jama.
Sharp.
Okay.
Sharp.
Why not?
That's good to know. Any final words? Right before you take leave of us, final words.
Okay, so
Charles and Elvis.
Yes, so we want to throw this invitation to all Catholic youth watching us this morning. Let us come to LWAC on Saturday, 29th of June, 2024, and let us come and have that communion as Catholic youth. I don't think there will be a grander platform for us to gather as Catholic youth as this, and especially as he has the backing of our Archbishop,
John Bonaventure
Kofi, and his auxiliaries.
His Grace.
Yes.
Wow. And his auxiliaries as well.
And his auxiliaries as well.
Exactly. Final words?
Yes. So let me pick it up from where he left. So the Archbishop is so keen about this. He's so much into it, and he's ready to meet us. For an Archbishop to tell you, come, I'm ready for you, means a lot. So this is a golden opportunity for us all. Let us all come together, talk to our Grace, talk to our Archbishop, and also listen to him as well.
Catholic youth.
Action.
Present and connected.
Sure. Yes.
All right. Sure. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Those who joined us for this conversation. Charles Adiya Kusi Jr. Are you related to the footballer?
No, that's me.
That's you. Are you related to the footballer?
Nope, I beg you.
Okay, all right. Charles Adiya Kusi Jr. and Elvis Owusu joining.
My name doesn't sound footballish.
Elvis Owusu.
Yes.
There have been some Owusus, but I don't know. You don't look like a footballer to me.
At all. Maybe the hair.
Thank you, gentlemen, for joining. It's all about the Catholic Youth Congress. You don't want to miss out on that. Stay with us. A lot more coming your way before we wind down. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Let's tell you now about the alumni homecoming of the University of Ghana Geography and GIS Department. And to tell us more about this homecoming, what we can expect, and how they are opening their arms to all and sundry, we have joining us in the studio Professor Alex Berima Owusu. He is an alumnus and a professor of Geoinformation Science. Prof, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. We also have joining the conversation Mr. Desmond Apedu, an alumnus and a geoinformation scientist. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Looks like today is going to be geoinformation and geography and spatial talk. You know, it reminds me of that joke about someone who went to school, came and told his parents that he had to buy 3 books, and the 3 were geo, gra, and fee. And later they found out that it was all one. But tell us, let me start with you, Prof. This alumni homecoming, how did it come about, the whole idea? Why now?
Well, I would say this is not the first time, but this time is mega in the sense that we know the department has come so far. It's one of the earliest departments in the University of Ghana. And over the years, the department has gone through several transformation stages.
Right.
And we are at the stage where geography has now become I would say, a discipline of all disciplines. Okay. It's now we see geography as not like how people perceive it, where if you say I'm a geographer, somebody will say, oh, where is the capital of Afghanistan, or what is the tallest mountain? Now, geography...
It's not just cartography and the rest.
Exactly. Now, geography is a spatial science where you can quickly navigate your way through town, where we help public health to do contact tracing, we help security to identify crime hotspots and things like that. Now, it is about this that we want the whole world to know where we are at this point and also where we want to be. And so this homecoming is meant to highlight the great achievements and the new innovations that we've done in the field of geography and what we want to do next. That's why this is so important and very critical to us.
Mr. Apedu, you just heard Prof saying that it's going to be mega. It's not the first time. What for you is going to be special about this homecoming?
Okay, so we are having people from all over the world. We have students coming from locally. We want to talk about Ghana, all the regions. People are just calling in. They want to come. Yes, they want to be here, and some are already in. Some are flying from all over the world. All those students, and you know, geography is GIS is an essential tool in national development. Now the country needs it, so a lot of people are coming in to just see what is happening.
And now, just to walk us through the program, we have the theme, Nurturing an Astute Geographer, a Collective Responsibility. Yeah. And of course, all of us, if you get things right, things will be better in our society, right? But let's talk about the activities you have planned for this alumni homecoming. What are the specific dates to look out for?
Well, so it's just a day homecoming. Okay. Just one day. And so it's scheduled for Saturday the 29th.
The Saturday.
So just this Saturday. And perhaps the key highlights is the fact that we are now also doing a saw cutting for construction of an ultra-modern geographic information systems laboratory.
I see.
And that is
within the geography, department space.
You know, like we said, we always say almost everybody has been touched by a geographer, one way or the other. For instance, as you see here, anytime you take your picture, you get geotag, and you can always track where you took your picture from, right? If you are driving around, you use Google Map, and that is GIS, which is geography. Right. And for that reason, this technology, which is making a revolution in the whole world, we adopt it here, we use it, we apply it, and we are developing it further. Right. And so cutting a sword for construction of an ultra-modern laboratory for geographic information system is very, very big for us. And then also the alumni network that we are having here. It's basically, we have the individual year groups, but now we are making it an alumni network where we have the Europe-based, the American-based, and the Ghana-based, and all of them coming together. I mean, some of our mates, we haven't seen them for like the past 30 years or so. We graduated from school, you know. So coming to meet them is really a big one. I'm even excited when I heard that the CEO of Cocoa Board is chairing the function.
I see.
Yeah, you know, one of the big guys in the system. And so we're kind of very excited about that. So the networking part is great. The reorganization of the alumni network is great. Right. And above all, the cutting of the sword for the construction of the ultra-modern laboratory.
I also see that it's sponsored by the 1994 year group. There's going to be an alumni group relaunch, groundbreaking for construction of the GIS lab, like you've mentioned, alumni network and business session, and then a fundraiser as well. Final thoughts?
Yes, so I want to tell all our alumni all over the world that this is something you cannot miss for anything, because when I said that Ghana, these geographers are very, very important in this, because everything is tied to location. Everything. And anybody that is doing a business and the person doesn't have a location, you can't really trust the person to do business with the person, because everyone needs a location to do business. And it will make our tax system very, very effective if we tie location to the work that we are doing. So we need all our alumni, wherever you are, you need to Saturday, 29th June, at the Department of Geography and Resources. You have to be there too, to just make sure that you have a feel of
what is going to happen.
What is going to happen.
We have to go, but all roads lead to the Department of Geography and Resource Development on Saturday, the 29th of June. It's all about the UG Geography and GIS Alumni Homecoming 2024. Prof, thank you very much. Professor Alex Berimo-Owusu, an alumnus and a professor of geoinformation science. And then Mr. Desmond Apedu, an alumnus and also geoinformation scientist. Well, before we go, we are inviting you to escape to the Royal Cozy Hills Hotel, that is Drapa, Dubai. You have seen the rest, now it's time to see the best. Take a break from work and take a break from the South. The Royal Cozy Hills Hotel, Drapa, Dubai is the place to relax, rewind, and re-energize. Now guess what? It's away from the stress of the South, and this is what awaits you. An unforgettable safari experience, an amazing array of wildlife including lions, hippopotamuses, zebras, ostriches, among many others, using our spacious and well-secured game tour vehicles or using quad bikes. There's also water sports such as jet skiing, boat or canoe rides, various family games to keep you and your families excited every day. But there's more. Great tourist attractions in the Upper West region, including the Mushroom Rock, Slave Caves, and more. So escape from the South, escape to the North, escape to the Royal Cozy Hills Hotel, nicknamed Drapa Dubai, for an unforgettable safari experience. Just call 0501 694 280 or 0248 844 463 to make your reservations or seek further inquiries. Again, under the distinguished patronage of Her Ladyship Justice Gertrude Tokono, Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, the UPSA Law School proudly presents the 2024 Lifetime Achievement in Law Award and Honorific Lecture. Now, the event presents a rare but high-level opportunity to recognize and acknowledge the outstanding and exemplary contributions of notable Ghanaian personalities in the areas of the rule of law, governance, and the legal academy. This year's Lifetime Achievement in Law Award will be conferred on Nana Dr. SKB Asante, the Paramount Chief of Asante Asokore and former Director UN Center on Transnational Corporations and Chairman of the Committee of Experts which drafted the 1992 Constitution of Ghana, at an august ceremony befitting the aura of the occasion. This event comes off on Thursday, the 25th day of July 2024 at 5 p.m. at the Kofi Ohene Kunedu Auditorium at the UPSA. Just visit the social media platforms of the UPSA Law School or call 0245 347 946 for more information. And that's it. But before we go, finally, we at the Multimedia Group are proud to announce that we are the official free-to-air radio broadcast right owners of Euro 2024. I'm sure you're enjoying it already. We'll deliver live commentary of selected games, including the opening game and the final, with our team of talented commentators and analysts on Joy FM, Love FM, Hits FM, Adom FM, Insura FM, and Asempa FM. Apart from the live radio commentary, the Multimedia Group has also curated custom Euro 2024 shows on radio, TV, and digital, as well as live viewing events, all aimed at delivering an unparalleled experience of the competition to our audience. You want to stay with us on the Multimedia Group's radio broadcast coverage of the Euro 2024 tournament. It's brought to you courtesy of Sporty TV and Sporty Bet. Watch selected matches of Euro 2024 live on Sporty TV, channel 36 on your digital TV sets. And that's how we cap it off this morning on the AM show. Yours truly, together with Sweetie Abochi. Wish you a wonderful day, but up next, we serve you Joy News Desk. Have a good day.